Hi, everybody. How you doing? Bruce here. Welcome to the show. Welcome to Stock Markets with Bruce, with your buddy, Uncle Bruce. How's everybody doing today? Wonderful cold weather here. No mosquitoes, no grasshoppers. We're doing great. Those wasp issues, no problem right now. Very crispy outside. Lovely crisp morning. We're showing a temperature right now in Creston at 9 degrees Fahrenheit. They still are claiming that we're going to be down as low as 3 degrees Fahrenheit in a couple of hours. I don't know if that's happening. I think the Arctic system just isn't as intense here. Maybe there's a 20-mile difference between where they thought the front would be, where it is. I'm a happy guy. We'll take 9 instead of 3. And let's hope we get into the 20s today instead of just 10 or 12 degrees. We'll see. How are you guys doing where you are? Is it cold? Welcome to the middle of winter. Unbelievable. Again, thank you all of you for following my channel, this channel, Stock Markets with Bruce. Also, thank you for following this channel, Traveling with Bruce. I think we've added 1,400 subscribers on that channel in the last about 12, 14 days. A bunch of you folks have been checking out what I've been doing over there. That channel's been up for 3.5 years. This channel's been going now for about 6-7 months. Fantastic. We're approaching 50,000 subscribers here on Stock Markets with Bruce. Isn't that awesome? We're getting within, I think, 100 and something, maybe 130, 140 away. So yeah, we're inching along here. Fantastic. And welcome all to Stock Markets with Bruce. Markets this morning are appearing to be higher on the opening. Dow up 83 in the pre-market. S&P looks like it's up 14, and NASDAQ looks like it's going to be up 73. That is the moment. What we're looking at the moment. Initial jobless claims in the States fell to 793 from a revised 812,000 in early February. Not a lot of difference there. And GameStop at 50.51 in the pre-market, off about 60-something cents with 170,000 volume, like there's nobody home. It's very quiet on GameStop. But I got to tell you, all morning I can't help but escape hearing this constant drumbeat coming from, in this case, it's from CNBC's people, but also on the vlogs and the blogs out there. Constant drumbeat of any stock that's going up in price. They're using the term the GameStop effect. It's just so biased against that company. Again, GameStop is the problem with the world as far as a lot of these analysts are concerned, or so-called personalities, or whatever you want to call these guys. When I was younger, when I was a broker, earlier, I was always thinking, oh, these guys on TV have to be the pros. I mean, they have to know all the inside stuff on how the markets work, because they claim to talk to the Wall Street, top guns. But after watching them a while, you kind of figure out they're just representing the network, and the network is just trying to sell ads to get you to keep watching. They want to sell you a car, they want to sell you a pillow, they want to sell you your latest medication. They're in the advertising business, and they're providing a service or providing a product that keeps you sticking around. Haven't got a problem with that. Love it that private enterprise is out there, but a service to investors and representing you guys, the actual audience that watches CNBC. This is what blows my mind. The actual audience that watches CNBC are retail stock investors at home, professionals in the business who are watching before they go to work, or now that they're working from home, they're having their coffee in the morning and watching. And yet, the way they present the information to the world, they're poo-pooing the retail investor all the time. It just blows my mind how they talk down to the very people they depend on to watch the ads that they're presenting, and they blame you guys if a stock goes up in price, or they blame GameStop and then you, because retail investors are the problem here. unregulated retail investors who do whatever the heck they want, whenever the heck they want, and have the gall to insist that they're allowed to buy stock with their own money without restriction. I mean, who do these people think they are? How do we control this mob? What kind of regulations should the SEC put in to stop this rampant speculative abuse that is overtaking the stock markets today? I just sit here and go, man, do you guys are just missing the ball. You're so missing the ball. They also are just not highlighting the reality of how many millions of you are out there. I mean, I have the privilege and pleasure to address, a couple of thousand of you at a time, once you figure out I'm on the air and all that kind of stuff. But they insult your intelligence at every turn. Some of these guys and again, I'm pointing at my TV over here. That's all. I'm just pointing at my television. Some of these guys over here are, they think they're just highfalutin know-it-alls, and they come up with these one-liners and these little jabs at the GameStop phenomenon, the GameStop syndrome. It's another GameStop situation. Reddit. Bad word in the investment business as far as these guys are concerned on the television. Anything to do with Reddit has got to be manipulated, promoted, underground movement, mob mentality, out of control. It's like there are 8 million Reddit people who are huddled in a little corner every night to figure out what they're going to do tomorrow morning and then hit the market right away. Nothing can be further from the truth. People are making up their own minds what they want to do. The Robin Hoods out there who, they've got issues. There's Fidelity and Ameritrade and E-Trade and all the Charles Schwab slice people. All of these fractional ownership type outfits that are promoting, Webull and others, come on and open an account with us and do your own trading. Who are they targeting? They're not targeting hedge funds to open up an account and trade a fraction of an Amazon share. They're targeting retail investors. They're targeting younger people. They're trying to get a new group of people involved who want to get involved in the market. And then as soon as they do get involved in the market, these guys over here who are allowing these outfits to buy ads on their network to promote their services to you, they're turning right around and calling you, the investors, complete fools and a mob and an out of control group through Reddit. It's absolutely ridiculous. I just shake my head and go, you assholes. Really, I know where your sympathies lies. You guys want to get the latest hedge fund manager on your air, and you just want to sell some more Cadillac ads. And you'll sell Robinhood ads, and you'll sell Charles Schwab ads, and you'll sell Fidelity ads, who will keep pushing their services to retail investors who are just trying to make a buck in the middle of a bloody pandemic, stuck at home. You think somebody who's using $1,000 and trying to turn it into $1,200, they're the enemy? They're the problem? And then just a few minutes ago, there was two gentlemen on the air talking to Andrew Ross Sorkin about the stimulus, the $1.9 billion stimulus. And what did they do? They brought in a pure Republican hack on this side of the screen, and they brought in a pure Democratic hack on this side of the screen, and they put the moderator in the middle, the host. And they brought up their case. Is this too much stimulus in the middle of a pandemic? And the Republican guys going, it should be no more than $600 billion, and no money to people. Oh God, no! We don't want to give people $1,400. Are you kidding me? You know what they're going to do with that money? They're going to buy pizza. They're going to buy food. They're going to pay bills. We can't have that. That's too much stimulus. And the other guy's going, this isn't enough. You think 1.9 trillion is going to solve? Everyone thinks that's going to more than solve the problem. And the Republican guy's going, well, what about inflation? And I'm thinking, inflation? What's the problem with inflation? There is no inflation. There's no interest rates. There's nothing. I mean, what are you talking about? It just blows my mind how the higher end guys seem to want to just keep the poor and then call it a problem. Yeah. Keeping the poor is a problem, and in some states and in some police jurisdictions, and you've seen the stories. How many times have you heard of the people being arrested because they're loitering or they're whatever. They're poor. They have nowhere to stay. They've lost their house. They've lost their apartment. They've lost their jobs. They don't have health care. It's a crime to be poor. How dare you be poor? You're not working hard enough. If you got out there and got a job, things would be a lot, your lives will be a lot better. And I just up here in Canada, we go, huh? What's that? What kind of mentality is that? But it's a war. It's a war between classes. And it's right there for you to see on TV every day, again and again and again. And you've got certain people in the public sector who are saying, we got to kind of help our citizens out here because we're not allowing them to do this, but we're asking them to do that. And businesses are not allowed to be open. And yet we're criticizing mom and pop business owners for not creating jobs at the same time. And they're just going, well, what do you want me to do? I own a coffee shop and it's not called Starbucks. I'm not an essential service. I'm not allowed to open. Walmart can open and flog whatever the hell they want. I can't open in my little hometown. And we're the problem. Why am I behind in my mortgage payments? Because I'm lazy? No, I can't open my business. That's why I can't pay my mortgage. I can't pay my bills. People are borrowing against their retirement savings accounts. They're pawning off their precious family heirlooms. None of this is being talked about when it comes to these guys. They're talking about the Dow is at a record high. Everything's great. America is great. Look at the Dow. Look at the S&P 500. Look at the NASDAQ. Everything is great. What is your problem, America? Get with the program. Why aren't you people rich out there? How can there be poor people when the market's at all-time highs? Why on God's green earth should we hand out $1.9 trillion when the markets are at all-time highs? All they're going to do with the money is they're just going to open up brokerage accounts and start trading it. I mean, that's the last thing this country needs. I just go, wow. What can I say, kids? Uncle Bruce from time to time gets worked up with how some people put down others and keep them there and do everything they can to just keep them there. And what can I say, kids? It is the world in which I guess we're living in 2021. The other thing I find interesting is let's compare the markets now to 1999. Is this the dot-com bubble all over again? Headlines, clickbait, anything to get you to watch the next Cadillac commercial, because you'll notice on some of these networks, you will not see ads for cheap cars. You're only going to see ads for the good stuff, the high-end cars, the Lexus drive-away event, nothing down, $500 a month after 3 months. How many people can afford $500 a month on a car payment right now? You're desperate to get a $1,400 stimulus check for yourself, your wife, whatever you get for your kids, and catch up on the last 6 months' bills because you haven't had a sizable check from anybody for months. The dot-com bubble is the next. It's a worry. We're worried about the dot-com bubble. Really? 22 years ago that happened. Hey, anyone with a brokerage account that's 30 years old was 8 when that happened. The world 22 years ago versus the world today. You know what's happened in the last 22 years? A lot. The market today is nothing like it was 22 years ago. And 22 years before 1999 was 1977. And they were comparing the world in 1999 to what it was like 20 years ago. They do this all the time. They will continue to do this all the time. And it serves no purpose whatsoever. Why don't we talk about the present and what the potential is going forward? And the present is pretty ugly right now for a lot of people out there. And for some, it's okay. They're thankfully getting by and hanging in there and, doing what they're doing. And the other thing that blows my mind is today there's an IPO coming out. And what is the IPO all about? A dating service. We're going to have a dating service go public on an IPO. I think it's today or tomorrow. They're trying to finish off this IPO. They're going to raise $2.2 billion called Bumble. An IPO for an outfit called Bumble, $2.2 billion underwriting, which will value the company upon listing before the first trade at $8 billion. The company is losing $116 million in their last fiscal year. They don't make money. They have $400 million in actual gross revenue. $400 million. They're going to be valued at $8 billion. Go back to the GameStop effect. If you want to compare GameStop effect, GameStop has sales of about $7 billion. Yeah, they've lost money in the last year, 20 million, 30 million bucks. Yeah. They've got assets. They've got employees. They have a track record. They're evolving into an e-commerce company. They've got more cash in the bank than they owe to their creditors, by the way, and have had for the last year or two. It's valued at $3.5 billion. So you got a $3.5 billion valuation on the problem stock, GameStop, versus this wonderful new IPO that's going to be valued at $8 billion. And that's if you can buy the stock at 43 bucks a share. They're talking about going public at 43 bucks a share. You're not going to be able to buy the stock at 43. What's the opening trade going to be on this thing? They've raised it from $19 a share to the 23 range. Then they went from $25 to $28 range. They're now going public at 43 bucks a share, and you can't get any. And the opening trade, if it's $60 a share, that values this company at $12 billion. If it opens up at 86 bucks a share, that values this thing at $16 billion, with 400 million in worldwide sales, 100 million in losses going in. And this is supposed to be the kind of investment that you are supposed to make as a retail investor for your long-term growth of your retirement savings and supporting American business and making it work. This is what Wall Street is considering and promoting and pushing as the way we go forward to make America great. Really? You want to be the sap paying 85 bucks a share for this piece of crap? You've got to be kidding me. I have no problem with the concept of their business. I have no problem with maybe their upside potential. They're not worth $16 billion. They're not worth $8 billion. Another thing I'll mention to you is the public, the folks are putting the money in right now at 43, 2.2 billion is being raised in cash. So these guys are going to be cash rich with a business that's losing money. Blackstone owns and will own, after this is all done, 82.5% of all the voting stock, because there are Class A shares that you can buy, which are the common shares. And then these guys have I think they have a Class B that has all the votes. And you are the one putting up the cash eventually, whoever's buying 2.2 billion, and then the street after that. You're the guys owning the common stock. Again, the SAPs are the last guys to buy. The president of the company is only going to have 14% voting power. This thing is dominated by Blackstone. And these guys are geniuses, absolute masters at taking companies public and benefiting themselves beautifully and convincing the brokerage community and Wall Street to just follow along like lemmings and buy into this deal. It blows my mind. And over on CNBC, they can't wait to have the president of the company come on the air and talk about how great it's going to be, how fantastic this company is going to be, the incredible upside that this company is going to benefit all of its customers and all the plans they have and everything else. It's a dating service on the internet. That's all it is. They don't own a factory. They don't employ 150,000 people. They don't create a product that you can, buy in a store. It's a dating service, and it's getting people together who can't get out of their house right now because of a COVID. Going public right now. Here we are, coming to a neighborhood near you. You will be dominated and overrun with information through the media. The press releases will be just nuts about how great, how hot, how popular this stock is. Don't buy a single share of this stuff. I'm telling you, as an investor, stay the heck away from this stuff. It just blows my mind. This is the normal. This is the accepted kind of business. But GameStop, oh no, the fact that these companies going public have hundreds of millions of shares outstanding. GameStop has 50 million shares that are free trading. That is such a small number in this market. 50 million shares, and I don't even think 10 million of those actually trade. There's 20 odd million shorted, so there's maybe 30 odd million that can trade hands. And we are being hit with all kinds of analysts coming on here talking about how great GM is going to be with, I don't know how many gazillions of shares out there, how great Apple is with billions of shares outstanding, how great Google is, how great Amazon is. And they want you to, you're going to be a smart investor if you can buy a company at 80 times earnings, or Tesla, 1,300 times earnings. You're a genius if you buy that stuff, because look how high it's gone. I mean, forget this GameStop stuff. Buy this at its all-time high, trading at 1,400 times earnings. That's where you should put your money. I have no problem with Elon Musk. I love Elon Musk. I think he's great. He's a visionary. He's a genius. He's powerful. Way to go, Elon, and all of you guys. But at 800 something bucks a share, you know, multiply by 5 because it just split last summer. That's 4,000 something bucks a share. Well done. Well done. But I'm not going to be the sap paying that price when a year ago it was trading at 200 bucks a share, not 4,000 a share, 200 bucks a share, pre-split. Post-split, that's 40 bucks a share. Oh my gosh. The markets out there are just so disjointed. They are saying occasionally they're kind of frothy. The markets are kind of frothy. You think? The 1.9 trillion going into the economy will be good for the markets, will be good for the U.S. economy, will be good for U.S. households, will be good for college students, will be good for parents who have college students, will be good for parents who have kids of any age. It's a good thing. A lot of the people who are going to get this 1,400 bucks, I can tell you, it's already spent. They owe more than that in back rent, in health premiums, telephone charges, internet costs. A lot of them have been cut off from the internet. A lot of them have lost their phones. They're just trying to get back up on one foot again. A lot of this 1,400 bucks, many millions of these people, tens of millions, this money is pre-spent. It's already, the IOUs are already in the person's hand. The 1,400 won't even cover it. It'll cover some of it. And they're going to have to make these difficult decisions. What do I pay? What don't I pay? And, you know, I don't have enough. We won't have enough. The states who are going to get some kind of a bailout here, and I mean 50 odd states, some of them are not going to get enough. And it's the so-called, you know, the red states and the blue states who have been deemed as responsible with their money, their tax holders' money, their investors, their citizenry money. These are states who've had the bejesus kicked out of them and who have suffered, you know, unbelievable deaths and expenses just right over the top. Their budgets are blown out of the water, and they're getting, I think, pennies on the dollar that they need to compensate them for what happened to them back in January, February, and March of 2020. We're not talking about now. We're talking about back then. Billions were spent by all the states to deal with a pandemic they had no idea was coming and had no idea would be this bad. And this bill, there's billions in the bill for states, but it's not going to bail them out. It'll help, but it leaves them hanging. And the bottom line is, the pundits out there don't want to admit the fact that if you live in one state, you also pay city taxes, county taxes, state taxes, and federal taxes. The same voter is contributing to all levels of government. And so, in effect, one level of government is going to help another level of government. The bottom line is that taxpayer or voter or non-voter or whatever, non-taxpayer as far as kids are concerned, they're taking on debt because of the pandemic. That's what pandemics do. They do bad things to the economy. But I'm blown away when you see these Republican analysts come on, or spokespeople, and you know, going against the politicians, arguers, the professional mouthpieces. Oh, this is too much stimulus. Oh, this is just, it's going to cause inflation. Forget the fact that we're trying to save 150 million to 250 million Americans from complete destitution. Forget that. We're going to have inflation, and that's bad for the poor. A loaf of bread might cost a quarter more. I can't afford it anyway. I'm going to the bread line. I'm going to the drive-through food bank. What do they care? They're looking for a handout. Anyway, what can I say? Welcome to the world in which America lives. Here in Canada, it's not quite that wacky, but it's wacky. I'm just praying for all of you out there that when you get a chance to get this vaccine, which is free, paid for by your government, you get that dang thing. You get it. And the hope I have is that it keeps you safe. And then I'm hoping that all those mom and pops out there who have all these small businesses, and the dog walkers and the babysitters and the people who work from their home to help can get back to cash flow of some kind to build a life again. This is good for the economy. Get trillions of dollars circulating in an economy that's opening up because people don't have to be locked up in their homes. And I pray for senior citizens in these retirement centers that they are spared, but so many have not been. What can I say? It's just unreal. There's your rant for the morning from Uncle Bruce. This is a 65-year-old looking down here at what he sees versus what he used to see when he was in his 20s and his 30s, his 40s and his 50s. I remember when I was a young guy, I hated taxes because I was paying them. I hated them. And I would, I'd see someone on the street and I'd say, oh, why not that bum get a job? Not knowing the fact that, well, that individual had a job. They got injured at work and their leg got broken, or they, lost use of their left arm because of the thing. And they can't get workers' compensation benefits because for whatever reason, the bureaucracy is so impossible. They can't get $500 a month to get therapy and get back on they've lost everything because they've sold everything to try to hang on. Their wife left them with the kids, and the in-laws are calling them bums because they're not getting off their feet to do anything because they're in constant pain and they're needing pills and they can't afford the pills. And I used to be very critical when I was in my younger years because I didn't know. I didn't know the real story. I certainly didn't know that individual story. I only saw it from the other side, and that's all I heard from the media was people who don't work are lazy, people who work are heroes, and people who work 3 jobs are absolute gods. And I now look at it at this age and I look back and I go, wait a minute, someone who's 35 years old has to work 3 jobs to make bills pay. Why is that? Because the employer doesn't want to hire anyone for more than 18 hours a week or 20 hours a week. Why not? If you do, you have to give them benefits. But if you keep them as part-timers, and Walmart is the professional at this one, you keep them under a certain number of hours, you don't have to pay the benefits that you would a full-timer. And so why don't we just hire 2 part-timers to make up the job of a full-timer, and we pay them the minimum rate, $8-10 an hour, and work them to death, scare them into losing their job if you don't perform, and you get hurt on a job, who cares? I got 1,500 people outside waiting for this $10 job because there are no other jobs. And you multiply that out with Amazon and Walmart and Target and McDonald's and all the fast food outfits around the world. How many companies do not hire full-time employees at the lower level because they don't want to pay out the benefits? They don't want to be on the hook for copay, medical, retirement. No, I just want the cheapest worker I can get to make the highest margin I can get because I report to Wall Street where the brokers are every 3 months. I have to tell them how much money my company's making. And one way to make more money is keep costs down. And one way to keep costs down, an easy way, is keep thousands, hundreds of thousands of employees into a part-time status. And that way I'm not on the hook for any of these other expenses. In the meantime, these folks have 2 jobs, 3 jobs, and they still can't make a go of it. And they're the enemy. They're the problem. But I'm 65 now, so I'm allowed to say all this because I'm an old man. And sitting in my living room here in Canada, I'm a blessed individual. 1,214 of you are tolerating the old man ranting away. What can I say? The markets are at record highs. What is there to complain about? Everything is great. And yes, I have friends of mine who are benefiting mightily because of these markets. And I'm happy for them. I really am. They worked hard all their lives. They've done nothing wrong. They've employed people and they've done nothing wrong. But I also I'm aware of how many gazillions of the silent ones we don't hear from. Why? They can't afford internet, so they can't even talk. They can't afford a phone. They can't call anybody. Have you been to Vegas lately in the last 5 years? Have you been to Las Vegas? And have you ever rented a car? I'm gone for a drive off the strip, like a couple of blocks. Have you seen that? You know what I'm talking about. Those of you who live in Vegas, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You've been to Seattle lately, seen the problems there. Have you been to California in the San Francisco, San Jose area? Have you seen fully employed people making $60,000 a year that can't afford an apartment? Have you seen that? There's a problem there. There's a shiny apple out there. America is a beautiful shiny apple, but if you cut it in half, and look on the inside, there's some stuff happening in there that's not good. Hard working people can't make a go of it. And this has a way of piling up over time into all kinds of issues. And watching this this, I don't want to watch it, and I'm trying not to watch it. I'm so lucky I'm here for 3 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the afternoon. I don't have to watch this coverage of the impeachment trial, because more and more statistics are coming out about the actual people who were there, many of them who stormed the Capitol. And reports are coming out now that analytics are coming out about them, and many of them were having serious financial troubles, serious problems. These are hardworking folks who got dealt a bad hand called the pandemic, and they had to blame somebody. And they were desperate to blame anybody because they couldn't understand why it would be their fault. They're the hard workers who've worked all their lives. They built businesses. They went to school. They got their kids into college. They were, buying cars and living the dream. And it was all taken away from them. And now they're storming the building because they're angry. And I get it. Yeah, this is I guess the line of the poor, the number of people who are destitute, that it's growing up into the lower middle class now. What used to be middle class America, you used to be well off or relatively well off, and you could afford a 1 or 2 week holiday every year and all that. Nowadays, even those folks are caught up in problems, and yet the market is at record highs, and there shouldn't be a problem, because if the market is great, everything is great. Well, you own Tesla stock that you bought 2 years ago at $150 a share, and it's now at $4,000 a share pre-split. Life is good, but unfortunately, $8 an hour people could not buy Tesla stock at any price in the last 10 years or ever. They could never ever buy stock or anything else. And there's a lot of people down here who are watching these folks up here doing well, and they're not, and they're wondering what's the deal. And there are people in the middle who are the agitators, the professional paid agitators, some of which are elected, some of which work for people who want to be elected and remain elected, and they just stir up the pot to find their demographic and keep getting voted in. And in the 60s, it used to be blame Cuba for everything if you're in Florida, and you'd get reelected there. Then in 2001, after 9/11, blame terrorism for all your problems and reelect me and I'll keep you safe. And now here we are. Hey, if you're not getting by, we know who to blame. Elect me and I'll help you blame those people, and we'll be great again. And let's move on. And look around you, and how's your world doing? Are you folks investing in home security systems? How many of you have cameras outside of your house that you never thought you'd have before? How many of you are monitoring your homes when you leave your home for an alert? How many Americans are lining up to buy weapons at gun stores after every election? No matter who gets elected, there's a lineup at gun shops after every election, no matter who's in the office. What is that? It's a whole different world, kids, and it's dicey. It's just dicey. But I digress. Let's talk about the markets, if that's possible. The Dow is up 66 points going into the day. S&P up 13, NASDAQ up 71. Stocks in the news. There are stocks moving this morning that I've been watching and following, and I thought I'd mention them to you and try to explain to you in plain English what's happening. Again, thank you. Greg, you bring up a good point here. Hi, Bruce. Tilray is merging with called Alphera. What could this mean for shareholders of Alphera? Thanks for your straight talk, and thanks for the brain dumps. Your knowledge is a gold mine. I was watching this morning the most active stocks, which were Sundial Growers, symbol SNDL, or Organogram, OGI, Alphera, APHA, and Tilray, TLRY. These were 4 stocks that were getting a lot of attention this morning on CNBC because they were moving along, and the thinking was, well, maybe this is the story was that this is the Reddit effect and the GameStop effect. They were absolutely quoting GameStop and Reddit with these 4 stocks as to what they were doing. I just want to take a peek here. APHA at Alphera right now. $24.50 a share, down $1.80 at the moment. I don't know if we see an announcement on any kind of if there's actually a takeover here or not. I don't see anything yet, so I'm sure if I'm missing something, or is there something that's been out a while. I don't quite understand it. Again, I'm new to the party. I'm not familiar with these companies. I'm not familiar with the managements. I'm not familiar with their business plan. I just see Alphera down $1.50 to 24.80 at this moment in time. Let me take a look at Tilray, TLRY, Tilray pre-market down $8.70. Took a dump about half an hour ago. It was at 71.50. It's now 54. And that's the class 2 stock. I'm again assuming that is what's trading. Let's see here. I'm looking for any press release that will come out here and tell me what is actually happening with these stocks. Can't find anything at the moment. Here we go. Alphera and Tilray to merge to create the biggest global cannabis company. There you are. Finally found an announcement on this. A combination of the Canadian firms will control 17% of the country's adult use market by revenue, $686 million. 2 Canadian cannabis companies have agreed to merge, creating what they said would be the largest cannabis operation globally by revenue and potentially singling more deals ahead among cannabis firms. Alphera and Tilray said Wednesday their proposed combination would create a company with annual revenue on a pro rata forma basis of 874 million Canadian dollars, equal to 686 million American. The combined company would control 17% of the adult use Canadian cannabis market, according to Raymond James, roughly double the shares of the other 3 competitors. Federal government of Canada has legalized recreational use of cannabis in 2018, generating investment from new companies that cultivate the substance and sell it under various brand names. Corona beer brewer Constellation Brands, for example, has invested in Canopy Growth Corp. Some U.S. states allow people to use cannabis for medicinal uses or as a recreational product. I'm not sure what the deal is. What is the deal on the stock? What kind of it's got to be a stock for stock kind of a deal? What's the ratio? Be kind of curious to know that. It's not doing well. The shares are not doing well in either case. 1 + 1 does not equal 3 in this case. There's a lot of pre-market selling going on here with 23 minutes to go in the day. We'll see how this plays out. GameStop is being featured right now by Jim Cramer and Faber, and the headline is "Pot Stocks Volatile After Reddit-Fueled Rally." There you go. GameStop is your enemy. That's the problem. That's why pot stocks are doing what they're doing. It's all because of the GameStop and Reddit effect. Blame the GameStop company that has 50 million shares outstanding and a $3.5 billion market cap. They're dominating the multi-trillion-dollar stock market. They're to blame for any problems. It's just amazing. I throw my hands up in the air with these guys. Why don't you just talk about the companies that are making the moves and talk about why they're doing what they're doing? But it's got to be GameStop. Absolutely got to be GameStop. Tilray down 15%. Alphera down 6%. Now Canopy Growth is down. Aurora Cannabis is down. Sundial still up, but at only $3.50 a share. Sundial this morning was over 4. And again, if these shares back off, they will say it is absolutely because of what happened with GameStop. It's exactly the same thing. Again, I just I don't know who to believe, whether that's right or not. The Sundial shares this morning, 475, they're now 348, still up 53 cents. And folks, they're picking on you every chance they get. The markets, these analysts on the stock exchanges are picking on you and blaming you for the problems of the market. It's just, it just blows my mind. Welcome to a lovely day here, Thursday. I did read something last night that I found interesting on GameStop and other shares that Reddit have been talking about. A lot of the shareholders are buying and holding. The small retail investors, they're buying and holding. The diamond hands, there are more diamond hands in the Reddit camp than any other, so-called group that is promoting stocks. People who bought GameStop, a lot of them are just not giving them up. Yeah, they're down $100 a share, 150 a share. They're not selling. Not selling this stuff because I'm into the corporate story and I'll wait it out. And this is befuddling. It's befuddling analysts. They can't understand, because normally the pattern is the stock goes up, people get in, and a lot of people get promoted in at the very end. They lose everything, and then they throw in the towel and get out. And it's not happening. The GameStop is not back to $10 a share. It's at 50. It's not back to 20. It's at 50. It's not even back to 30. It's at 50. And it's been there for days. And they're going, well, why is that? Because they're not selling. They're not selling. They're not going to sell the stock because they believe in the corporate side of the story long term. The almighty Fisher, Tilray, and Alphera are merging. One Alphera share will be worth 0.81 Tilray shares in a reverse merger. Oh, okay. So there you go. Thank you, almighty, for that. You think I could find that on Market Watch? The so-called, one of the leading places for stock information. Can't find it. Nothing here. It's very wanting. What can I say? Sundial 337, not doing well as they were this morning. GameStop right now 50-50, down 70 cents on 235,000 shares. The company is not the linchpin of the markets. It is its own entity, but it has not come back to where the analysts were certain it was going to go. Because they were waiting. They're waiting on the wings. I'll tell you right now, there are TV personalities who can't wait to point the finger at all of you out there, all of you folks who are small investors. They can't wait to say, we told you so. We told you so. We told you were wrong. They're waiting. As soon as the stock gets back to 20 bucks a share, they're just dying to do this. It's not going back to 20 bucks a share. And they're kind of going, well, why is that? I mean, how stupid are these people? Why don't they get out of this stock like they're supposed to get out of the stock? They're supposed to give up. They're supposed to not pay attention to anything but us. We're the gods of the market. Why don't they believe in what we say to them? Well, because maybe they're idiots. Maybe they're online shills. Maybe they're paid by the network to promote their network and hype markets, and you're not falling for it anymore. Maybe that's it. Maybe you found an alternative voice to go to, like Reddit, and read a whole bunch of postings, and some of them make a lot of sense. Maybe you're getting information that you can't get from online analysts anymore. You can't get these free thinking people because they've been muzzled. They're not allowed to talk. They're certainly not allowed to present their own opinion. The almighty Fisher, the apologies, it's 0.8381. Fair enough. So it's about 83% of one gets you one of the other. They will merge into one. The two together will be larger, stronger, but they're going to have a lot of logistical merger act things to figure out. Management, staff, production, delivery of product. It's not so simple just to put two companies together and everything's going to be fine. And the business is constantly evolving here in Canada. The public in Canada, the population of Canada, the adult voting population. You took poll after poll after poll for the last decade, from 2008 until 18, when this finally became federal law that it was recreational use is allowed, it was 80% in favor, 80%. But no politician had the guts to go out there and stand on it until Trudeau came around. And he was the opposition leader at the time. He'd been the Liberal leader for a number of years. He was the opposition guy. The Prime Minister of Canada, Harper, who's a conservative and is so tight. I mean, the guy was like, he would walk around like this. He had no flow to this guy. I mean, he was just a robot. Really disappointing. A smart guy, likable guy, but geez, he was stiff as a board. The election came, and their argument for voting conservative over liberal, well, he's too young. He's not experienced enough. That's why we shouldn't allow him to become prime minister. He's just not experienced enough. In the meantime, the stiff guy over here, ridiculous. Trudeau comes out and says, here's what we're going to do with it. This is what Canada's going to do if I'm the prime minister. We're going to have a cabinet that's going to be half women. Because it's 2015 at the time when he got elected. We're going to allow refugees into this country that are dying to get here, who are not terrorists. And the Syrian problem in Syria was just exploding. And the Conservatives were going to allow 10,000 people in a year. And Trudeau went, we're starting with 20,000 and we're going to go up from there because we are getting old as a country. Our demographics, we're aging out. The kids, like this guy right here, this kid, I had one child. My wife and I had one child. Many of my friends do not have 5 kids. We have 1 or 2. Not enough. This country is aging out and we need young people to be in the workforce. We're bringing in people from the outside because we're not breeding. We're not creating Canadians. We're going to import Canadians, but we're going to import the non-terrorists, the healthy, somewhat educated and willing to work their butts off, and they do. And here we go. And so Canada has just risen dramatically in that number. We're going to legalize marijuana as a recreational drug as a country. Enough of this silly nonsense, and we're going to stop this madness of a police traffic stop that turns into a drug seizure stop with dogs and guns and SWAT teams because the guy has a joint in his pocket. We're going to stop this silliness. We can't afford this anymore. It's absolutely stupid. And we're going to make it regulated, which means it's like alcohol. You regulate it, and you keep a lid on advertising and where you can consume it and all this stuff. So you come to Canada, and if you think there are potheads all over downtown Creston, think again. You can't find the stuff. People are consuming it in the privacy of their own homes. If they're consuming it in a smoke format, most people are enjoying it in another format. And slowly but surely, it's coming out. But these companies that are merging here, this is a sign of what we've noticed here in Canada, that we started off in 2016, 17, 18, companies were ramping up in anticipation of the legalization. And then legalization came, and there was no incredible wave of demand. There weren't lineups at every pot shop across the around the block. None. And the shop owners are going, well, geez, I thought for sure I had a license to print money here, because I saw this on the news in the United States, in Washington State. When they legalized it, there were people lined up to buy this stuff. Why isn't it in Canada? Because it went national. It wasn't local. It went national at the same time. So all the provinces could legalize it, not just one city or one province only. And that just brought the heat down. Plus, we've allowed medicinal marijuana for a long, long time. We're just, I don't know, we're more grown up about it. Is that the word? We just kind of, there seems to be an acceptance of reality up here on some matters, but we're not world leaders on everything. Believe me, we've got issues. And anyway, these companies are merging. So here you go. Tilray and Alphria are merging. Don't be surprised if you see others like it. But look at how the shares are performing now that the merger's been announced. They were doing far better before they made the announcement. The shares were much better. As I say, the Tilray shares were much higher before the announcement was made, and same with Alphira. Both of them have now taken a hit, and welcome to reality, because now the financial analysts will get involved and will actually take a look at where they come out at. When it's all said and done. Tilray now $56 on the aftermarket, the pre-market, $56 coming into the market in 13 minutes, down $8 from yesterday's close. So that didn't work out. If anyone was hoping to flip and make a quick buck there. And Alphira closed at 26 on yesterday. It's $24.75, down $1.55 from last night's close. But earlier today, it had been as high as $30 on the pre-market. These shares were flying because of the so-called GameStop effect that is dominating the markets. The GameStop effect is what this is being called, with the Reddit investors, out of control hordes of small investors who are absolutely profit-driven, with no soul, no conscience, no brains. And they're my viewers. Those are my viewers they're talking about. And I don't like it when they talk about you like that. I think they're wrong, and I kind of like you guys. So anyway, there you go. Oh my goodness. The healthcare debate. Oh, look, I can't, Travis, that's another issue entirely. All I can say is, here in Canada, if you have a job in Nova Scotia, the far east coast, with Joe's transmission repair shop, and they're open right now and you're employed, you have healthcare through your province. If you quit your job or you get fired or laid off and you're on unemployment for 3 months, you still have healthcare through the province like you've always had. It makes no difference. You find a job 3 months later at a Starbucks to kind of make a few bucks, you still have your health care with your province. It makes no difference. If Starbucks gives you additional benefits, that's their business, but you've got basic health care. But if you can't find a job in Nova Scotia because it's tough times over there, and you have a friend of yours who lives out in British Columbia here and says, hey, you can get a job out here. I know a guy who's got a transmission shop, and he's been looking for a guy for 3 months. You'd be perfect. You have a Zoom call chat with the owner, and the guy goes, yeah, I'd love to hire you. You drive over, or however you come over here, a couple weeks later, you're here and you're staying with a relative for a while, and you now are under the British Columbia healthcare system. You've not lost any healthcare. In the United States, it wasn't that simple in the past. People were married to their jobs, not because they loved their employer, not because they loved their jobs, it's because they loved their benefits, which included healthcare. And they couldn't imagine leaving this company to work for that company, because that company had a different healthcare provider, and they had something called pre-existing conditions. And if you were ever had a claim over here and you wanted to move over there, you weren't covered. That doesn't exist in Canada. There's no such thing as pre-existing condition nonsense. Healthcare is healthcare no matter what your condition, how healthy you are or unhealthy you are, you get sick or not, you hurt yourself or not, you get a disease or not, you're just covered, and that's the end of it. And up here in Canada, we just sit back and go, what do you mean? What do you mean you can't move from New York to Texas, or you can't move from Georgia to Alabama, you can't move from Washington to South Carolina because of the healthcare? Like, that's holding you back from getting out and getting ahead or changing or something. So you've got to tolerate that boss, that supervisor, that culture, that existence, because you're afraid of losing your job when there's a zillion other jobs available, but they don't have the benefit. This is un-American. We thought that was un-American. We thought Americans were free. You had freedom to go where you wanted and do what you want. But I guess some of you don't have freedom when it comes to healthcare. And it might not be you that's the problem. It's your children. You've got a child that's born with a condition, and as long as you stay with that employer, that child is going to be looked after. And it's thousands of dollars of treatment. I know it. It's expensive. You can't quit that job. You pray when layoffs come that you're not included. Because when you do get laid off, you might have 3 more months of coverage, and then you're let go and you're out. We've heard horror stories, and then we hear the laughable stories down up here about how Canadians have to wait to get health care. You need a hip replaced. You got to wait like 6 months, and we're going, yeah, and then we get a new hip, and we don't pay anything for it. We don't pay $75,000 to get the hip, and we don't fight with the insurance company first to be able to get it. We just go. Our doctor sends us to the specialist. The specialist figures out what you need done, and they book a operation, and then you go to the hospital, and you come in there, and they don't ask for your credit card. They don't want a deposit. They don't want to know who your insurance company is. Have you got your health card? It's your government health card. Have you got it? Yeah, it's right here. That's okay. They write the number down, and okay, you're good. And then you have your operation, and then you're in recovery, and then you go through physio, and then you go home, and you never get a bill. There's never a statement. You get nothing. It's paid for. And hopefully you get better and you can go back to work, and you can pay taxes again. And that's how it works. If you're working, you're paying taxes. And if you're paying taxes, that's where the money comes from to cover people on healthcare. It's kind of like built into the system. And we just kind of go, well, doesn't that work like that everywhere? I mean, it's just, it's no big deal up here in a way. It's really not a big deal. We only know about it now more because of what's happening elsewhere. And we're just going, you got to be kidding me. People are getting these. You have to have a $10,000 copay. You got to pay 10 grand before the insurance company comes in, and then they change their mind, or they try to find something that, well, you had tonsillectomy in 1984. You don't get a hip now. Like what? We're hearing stupid stuff. Maybe not quite that stupid, but we're hearing unbelievable stuff. Anyway, what can I say? America's great. I love Americans. I love America the beautiful. I love how patriotic Americans are. I love it. Canadians are patriotic in their own way. Americans are patriotic in their way. Germans are patriotic in their way. French and everything. I haven't got a problem with other countries, other worlds. I just sometimes wonder about the inequality of it. Sometimes you kind of wonder, can't everyone just be treated exactly the same? I don't know what's going on. In any event, GameStop is the problem. You folks out there who listen to me talking about GameStop, you're the enemy. And these analysts over here on the television just want to lump problems together and give it a name. And it's the GameStop effect, the Reddit effect, and the rest of the market's doing great. It's at record highs. And so obviously, whatever goes wrong with the market, they think they know who to blame for it to pass it on. And what they're not understanding is when they talk to you off of that television over there, they're talking to the GameStop investors. They're talking to Tilray investors. They're talking to AMC investors. They're talking to Reddit followers. They're talking to the people who want to get into the market. There's how many emails am I getting now? Thank you, all of you who are sending me private emails. How many emails am I getting from people telling me how happy they are that I'm on the air and explaining the market in plain English? And then they're asking me all kinds of questions on how the markets work and what should I do with this and what should I do with that. It's unbelievable. It's absolutely unbelievable. It's telling me how many people, it's convincing me, and it's confirming to me how many people out there have nowhere to go to get reasonable, legitimate investment advice from a trusted source. And they're now reaching out to a guy. I self-describe myself as a guy sitting in his living room in Creston, British Columbia, Canada, hoping to find a following on his YouTube channel, where he's commenting on what's going on in the marketplace and the world at large. And so many of you are returning to me for help. It's unbelievable to me. It just blows my mind. And the so-called investment business, the investment world that I was a part of growing up, that I thought was certain would never change. I felt, when I became a broker, I became into my 20s now and an adult, and I'm looking around the world at my so-called solid North American world that I was a part of, with 4 or 5 television stations that you could count on, including Walter Cronkite for the Honest News. I thought, this is great, fantastic. We've landed man on the moon now in 1969 when I was 15 years old, man landed on the moon. Wow, what a future we have. And we have, in Canada, we have big banks, and we have trust companies, and we have insurance companies, and we have stock brokerage firms, and on television we have E.F. Hutton down in the United States and Merrill Lynch in the USA, and there's Ford and GM and Chrysler, and there's AT&T, and there's all powerful, solid, fantastic America. And then there's Akron, Ohio, with a solid middle class. There's Cleveland with all kinds of employment opportunities, Detroit and all the suburbs. And everything is great, and people can buy cars and go on holidays, and the kids are, they're protesting the war, and they're going to Woodstock, but all in all, America just keeps on going, and Canada's along with it, and Europe is great. And here we are in 2021, and it's just all gone poof, fractured right out. And we're watching today, or witnessing right now. We're witnessing right now an IPO that's happening soon, that's going to take a dating company public, and it's going to value it at $8 billion the minute it clears its IPO. And if it opens at double the price, it'll be a $16 billion capitalized value corporation that doesn't have a factory, a processing center. It doesn't have a distribution center. They don't own delivery trucks. They don't buy raw materials from anybody. It's all digital. It's a digital company. It's all out there. It's just up there, and people are willing to spend unbelievable amounts of money to buy a share of this stuff, where 85 and 90% of the votes are held by 2 groups that are not putting up this money. They're not putting up the $2.2 billion that you guys are. And the guys on the television over here are saying to you, well, if you buy into this deal, it's a hot deal. You're buying into the Wall Street's seal of approval stock. This is Wall Street's seal of approval, because the big brokers have sponsored this deal, and it is legit. Great way to go. And I'm sitting here going, you guys keep comparing 1999 to 2021. This is 1999. This is exactly what 1999 really was. Maybe not exactly, but it sure is a reflection of it. There's certainly a lot of connections here. You're dealing with something that's digital, online, with no physical assets, and all you're doing is trying to put people together. How much money do you charge desperately lonely people to talk to other desperately lonely people? That's your business. That you're a hookup company. That it used to be what happened was you'd have a local entrepreneur in your local city, or 10 of them or 20 of them, and they would open clubs where you'd go dancing, a bar, a restaurant with a bar and a band playing on Friday night, and the singles would go out, 2 or 3 together would go out and hang out at the dance bar or the country club, the country bar, playing country music or the rock or the fusion. That's where you used to meet people in person, like human to human. Now it's all here on this thing right here. And these guys are worth possibly $8 to $16 billion to do this. And it's a legit investment as far as Wall Street is concerned. That's where this world is. And I'm kind of going, man, am I out of it? I am so out of the loop. Obviously, I'm a lucky man. I am. I met my gal when I was 21. And it was a complete fluke how we met, not in a bar or anything like that. And we've been together since 76. And yeah, well, I know we're lucky because we have all kinds of friends who've been married twice, 3 times, who are not married. Of course, there are, we know others who have been together for many decades as well. But yeah, I know I'm one of the lucky ones. And you wonder, what happens if you, a month down the road, your spouse dies in her sleep and you're alone, you're a single guy. What do you do? That I occasionally go, wow, that would be a different world, wouldn't it? But I don't think about the idea of going online because I'm old school. That's my issue. But there are friends of ours that I know of who are kind of my age or a little younger who are getting together people online. That's the wave. But should it justify an $8 billion to possibly a $16 billion market cap corporation? I can't figure it out. Is this company supposed to make $1 billion a year in the next couple of years, and then trade at 50 times earnings to be a $50 billion company, or 16 times earnings to go from $1 billion in earnings to be a market cap $16 billion company? Is that how do they make $1 billion a year in net profit? Right now they're generating $416 million in sales and they're losing $116 million. So if they double their sales to $800 million, will they now break even? And if they double their sales to $1.6 billion, will they make $200 million or $300 million in profit? I mean, I'm having trouble with this one. Anyway, there you go. What can I say? If your spouse dies in her sleep, it's tragic. It means I'm going to have to make my own breakfast. Rick, my issue with Bumble is that by the time I can buy, it's already IP. It's overpriced. Exactly. That's exactly the problem. But you're supposed to take it. You're supposed to accept that as a retail investor. You're supposed to buy the stock last. That is the way it has worked for decades. Why are you trying to upset the apple cart? How dare you investors demand a better deal for yourselves? Where do you guys come off thinking that you can buy stock at the same price that the Wall Street brokers clients can buy the stock? I mean, who are you people? Radicals. That's what you are. You're a gang of radical investors, and you have got to be controlled. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. We're open now. We're trading. Welcome to another day on the markets. GameStop is 51.80, up 60 cents. Volume of 699,000 shares to start the day. Very calm, very quiet. Let's take a look at the markets and see where we're doing here. Oh, poor Bruce. Uncle Bruce. This is why you only have your uncle over at Thanksgiving and maybe at Christmas, and then you kind of leave the room as soon as you can, because once he gets started, oh, geez, you don't want to hear this guy. He's going off the rails. Dow is up 69 points, apparently. Let me double check on this side over here. Yeah, 67 points is the gain. GameStop is now 53.22, up $2. Go GameStop. You problem child, you. S&P is up 13 points. NASDAQ is up 69, almost 70 points. Oil is down 12 cents a barrel. Who cares? 58.50 a barrel, way overpriced. There's more oil sloshing around than we could ever want. And we're at 52.45 now on GameStop, up $1.25. So it's kind of finding itself here this morning. It's trying to figure out where it's supposed to trade at. The Gores Holdings Company, that's the stock, the SPAC that is going to merge with the Matterport company, the 3D reality imaging company that allows people to sell homes. The Zillow app, I'm sure I have all kinds of realtors that use the Matterport software. They're going public through Gores Holdings. They're $17.47, up 14 cents a share. Those shares were $20 when they announced the deal 2 days ago. The hope I have is that later today and tomorrow, the shares will back off back to the 15 range. And I would then say to you guys, if you want to buy that for that merger, that's a good entry point. A Virgin Group, VGAC, Virgin Group Acquisition Corporation, 14.43, up 14 cents. They're right in the wheelhouse where you want to get into this and wait for the merger with 23andMe to take place on the New York Stock Exchange. GameStop right now, 51.71, only up 51 cents. AMC down 2 cents to 5.78. Nothing happening today yet. Bed Bath & Beyond up 75 cents to 29.78. That's improved about $4 this week, hasn't it? It was about $25 not too long ago. It's looking a little better. Fergan, thank you for this donation. I have to say the color commentary, I like it. Well, my American viewers won't like this because you're in Denmark, and they're going to, of course you're going to like it because, you're not in America. Well, it's okay. I love you, and I'm sure most of my viewers love you, and I'm glad you're here, and I thank you for your donation, and I love my American viewers, and I love my Canadian viewers. I love all you guys, and if you can tolerate this old guy ranting away, I'm amazed. I'm still amazed I have as many viewers as I have when I just spout what I want to talk to you about. It's incredible. It's humbling and it's interesting. BlackBerry down 26 cents to 12.84. It's backed off from that 14 range the last couple of days. Electronic Arts, EA, they took over that company a couple of days ago. That what was that called? Blue. What were they called? I can't remember the name of that outfit. They bought up. I'm looking for a headline here. I'll find it. Anyway, yeah, they bought somebody for $2 billion, and boy, after a couple days, these headlines just disappear into the ether, and you've got to push your brain around to remember the name of the outfit they bought. They bought an online gamer, and the shares took a bit of a pop because of it, but they had taken a bit of a dump after they came up with their numbers about 2 weeks ago. The shares were a month ago. Let me see here. They were as high as over 150, went down to the 139, 140 range, now at 146. And so that's a little better for EA. I noticed Zynga announced something too. Zynga, Glue Mobile. Thank you, Icus. There it is. Thank you. I know a lot of you helped me because, this brain, it's old. I have an excellent memory, but it's extremely short term. The Zynga, another online gamer announcing record profits, record business. This is good news for GameStop. Some of you think, oh, that's bad for GameStop because all these online gamers are doing really well, and that's going to be bad for GameStop. No, it's good for GameStop. It's showing me as an outside observer into that industry, it's a growing business. This business is getting larger and larger. It's not shifting, it's evolving. And the GameStop people will be in the business long term. I read something last night too that I found very interesting. It was again another one of these Wall Street bets postings on Reddit. I'm warning you. I'm reading stuff on these websites that I shouldn't be following because you're going to get radical ideas if you start reading information from places like that and not just listening to the analysts on TV. Oh, well, how dare you? Anyway, the article was really interesting. It was talking about the future of GameStop from the e-commerce side of the story. And I'm expecting eventually that kind of talk to be the talk about GameStop from Wall Street broker analysts. Right now, they're talking about GameStop as a brick and mortar failing company, just like Blockbuster. That's all they want to talk about, and the run up in the stock, which is bad for you. But this article was talking about why and how this company is going to transition into a powerhouse online presence. And I found it to be absolutely amazing. By the way, $54.89 on GameStop. It's up a little bit right now. The story goes that Ryan Cohen is the secret weapon here. This writer absolutely nailed it on the head. I've been trying to say this for months. Ryan Cohen is the reason why GameStop will no longer be considered a brick and mortar kind of a company and will be reclassified as an online e-commerce company. That's where it is going. And by putting himself on the board with two of his other people from Chewy and other activist investors who've already come in who also want to go this direction, this company now is being led right from the top to go digital. The brick and mortar people that created GameStop and ran it for decades, they're gone. They're out the door. They've long been replaced. They've sold their stock at $5 a share, $8 a share, $15 a share, $20 a share. Some got lucky and got a couple $100 a share. Not many. They're gone. They're gone. They're not coming back. The people that are there now and the people that will continue to come into this corporation will be completely going to the digital side of the equation, completely over to this side. GameStop right now, $52. It's jumping around like crazy. Ryan Cohen. This writer was saying that at Chewy, over where he came from, when he created that company with other investors, they had a whole different philosophy about how they were going to run their corporation as an online pet supply seller. They're like your pet stop store, but online. The website is a whole different experience. It's a whole different experience. The in-house mandates they had for their employees is that every phone call must be answered in less than 16 seconds. It was like a call came in and someone had to answer the damn phone now. Don't be sitting in your cubicle talking to your buddy while your lines are ringing. You instantly are on it or you're fired. You're out of here. There were no phones ringing. They had enough people to take the call. Humans were taking the call, and I believe they were U.S. based. I don't think they were overseas. I don't quote me on that for sure. But apparently, the experience that the callers were having were a whole other world. The person on the phone for the company, Chewy, what's your pet's name? What kind of a pet do you have? So it's a dog. Well, what kind of breed is it? How old is your dog? What's your pet's name? And they're writing this down. They're adding this to the file. And, what kind of food does your pet like? Have your pet ever been sick before? Have you taken it to the vet? What was the experience like? They want to know all about your pet. You're now getting this discourse, this engagement. You can't get this from Amazon. You can't get this from Target, Walmart, Costco. It doesn't exist. But here they were asking people, send me a picture of your pet. And they would be sending a photo of their pet when they had the pet's 3rd birthday or 2nd birthday or 15th birthday. These reps had a file on their customers. The customers would call back in the future and you'd be talking to James. And last time you talked to Eric, and James would ask you, what your question was, and then find out, I'm not sure how they did it, but they would find out your name or your pet's name or whatever they had, whether it was a thing with an order. They found your history on their system, and immediately they would pop up and go, oh, how's so-and-so doing? I hear you took the dog into the vet last week. Is everything working out? These customers are blown away. They're just going, oh my God, they care. They're pet people selling pet stuff to pet owners. Hello, it works. These people would not go anywhere else. They kept coming back and they would order more and more and more. The price was not the issue. A bag of dog food from Amazon and a bag of dog food from Chewy at 20 cents difference. Who gives a crap? I can't talk to any human at Amazon. It's just order the stuff and hit. Where at Chewy, I can either order it and hit, or I can actually talk to someone. This is a whole other world, and that's coming to GameStop. It's coming to the GameStop world. There's going to be some serious engagement between gamers and GameStop employees that has never existed before. Never. There might be the odd, I'm sure there are many stores around the world, GameStop stores, where customers who go in there, they come in every couple of days or once a week, or a gamer works at another store down on the other end of the mall, and on their break, they pop in and say hi to their GameStop guys, and they shoot the breeze about whatever. Yeah, there's that. There's going to be that now with all the GameStop customers online through GameStop reps. This is where it's going. GameStop is going to be hiring a ton of people to work their call center and their fulfillment center, just like Chewy did. It's going to be just like Chewy for pets, but it's going to be GameStop for gamers. No one's doing it. It's not being done anywhere. And how many times have I may not have told you, man, often, but I've certainly told my folks at Traveling with Bruce, my other station, my other YouTube channel, I can't call anybody at YouTube for help. There's no phone number for me to call anybody at YouTube. I have 2 YouTube channels. If I have a problem with a YouTube channel, I can't talk to anybody. I have to do this. I have to type in my concern through a chat box and talk to someone in, I don't know where the heck they are. With Chewy, you can dial a number, an 800 number. With GameStop, you're going to be allowed to talk like this, and I bet you're going to be allowed to talk like this, because they're going to want to get to know you. Oh, you're hey Bruce, how you doing? Nice to hear from you again. And they type in my member number, and they go, oh, how's that new Xbox working out? You just got that 3 months ago. Is it all okay? We heard that you had a glitch 2 weeks after you got it. That's been resolved. Is everything good? Have you heard about the new so-and-so game coming out? Have you heard about the tournament coming up? Are you registered for the latest upgrade or the latest news announcement? This is engagement that is going to happen here. Serious engagement. The customers will not be able to go to a GameStop store anymore. They're gone. They're going away. They're going to be going to GameStop here. They're going to have it right from their couch. They're going to be sitting in front of their computer in the game, and they're going to talk to their GameStop people, and they're going to engage with them. Some digitally, some personally, some with an audio feed, face-to-face time. They're going to be talking to human beings who care about the gaming life and the gaming world that they're a part of, because that's what GameStop is. They're the ultimate stop for this person. And there are 2.4 billion of them around the world that GameStop is going to go after, rather than the 50 million they've been going after now on their power members. This is a whole other thing. And this was this article I read yesterday had a lot to do about this this environment that Chewy had created, and why people would not leave Chewy, and why they kept coming back to Chewy again and again and again. And they're talking about how don't be shocked when finally a Wall Street analyst will start talking about GameStop in a whole new way and go, oh, you know what? I got to tell you, folks, forget about the brick and mortar GameStop. I got to tell you about the new GameStop. Like it's a surprise. If you've been watching Stock Markets with Bruce, you would have known this 6 months ago. Here's what's going on with the new GameStop. And it's going to start trading on a sales multiple rather than a PE multiple, because that's how online companies are valued, apparently. Dating sites are worth $8 billion when they go public at $43 a share on an IPO. And if they start trading at $86 a share on the aftermarket, they're worth $16 billion, and they lose nothing but money. GameStop will actually be flowing cash. They're already doing $1.3 billion in online sales. The last time we heard anything, which is months ago, before the systems came out, the new gaming systems, I know for a fact they can't keep them in stock. Sony can't make them fast enough because there's a shortage of chips. So there's a slingshot here being pulled and pulled and pulled. GameStop can't get the product. Sony can't make the product. The gamers are dying for the product, and there are no discounts on the product. What does that add up to? $1 every system that walks in the front door that gets delivered by truckload to a GameStop store or to their warehouse is pre-sold at full price. GameStop's numbers are rising. Their net margins are rising. Their costs are dropping. They're dropping stores. They're dropping overheads. They're dropping these rents. They're increasing their margins constantly and will continue to do so. They will invest heavily into this new world, this online world that they're creating with multiple websites. This is just going to be one. There'll be multiple. You'll be able to spin off into the tournament area, into the esports area, into the product area, the new launch area. Watch for it. Watch for it. This is going to be so complex. This is not a store that has a website that's clunky. Forget about it. That's not where they're going. The shares at $52 a share could be a bargain. A year or two from now, you might be kicking yourself that you got out, you didn't get in, you didn't average down, you followed the guys on TV who said, you're crazy, you're nuts, you're buying a stock that has no value. I'm asking myself, if you take all the assets that Bumble is about to have, sell them all off, what do you got left? You got $2.2 billion in cash that they're raising, less their fees, and that's it. And how many shares are out there? A gawabunga of them. And you divide it all out, and you're going to get $8 a share, $10 a share, $12 a share. That's what Bumble is worth. They're a dating service. Some countries, this is illegal because in the past we called it something else. We don't call it anymore. I'm not using that word. We now call it a dating site, online digital dating site to get people together, and it's going to be worth $8 to $16 billion apparently, or more. Wow, crazy. GameStop is $3.5 billion on the market cap. That's where it's at right now. It's at 52.62 right now. It's been jumping around here between 52 and 54, and I'm not sure what's happening here. Trying to sort itself out, I guess. I don't know. But there's very little out there trading. There's very little trading, and it's gapping out. A wave of buying in GameStop of a couple of million shares in one day could pop at $15 a share. There's no resistance anymore. The only sellers will be shorters. And these guys have got to ask themselves, how long am I going to bet against Ryan Cohen, his two fellow directors, the other activist investors that are in there who are watching the stock like a hawk, and the wave of employees that are coming in to convert this company into a digital seller as they close out their stores? How long am I going to bet against this thing? Because it isn't Blockbuster. Blockbuster, if this was a Blockbuster, it would have died 10 years ago. It didn't, and it's not going to as it converts over. So why am I going to keep shorting this thing? If dating stocks can trade at this level, or Chewy, it's trading at whatever price it's trading at. It's a value around $40 billion of value for Chewy. If this guy's going to turn GameStop into a gaming Chewy kind of company, if he's only half as successful and only gets it to a $20 billion valuation, that is 6 times higher than it's trading at right now. That's a $300 stock if he's only half as successful as he was the first time when he had much less experience. The second time around, you get better at it, even faster at it, more wise. You take the best things you did over at Chewy, you bring it over to GameStop, and you incorporate them, and you hire people off the street that you can steal with unbelievable power and experience and staff that they can bring along with them. And you can do it at a faster pace, and you can do it better, and you can do it with fewer mistakes. I can't imagine that they'll only be half as good as Chewy was. I think they'll be double as good as Chewy was. It'll be an $80 billion valuation. They certainly will have more sales than Chewy has right now. They'll be making money. Chewy doesn't even make money. They're worth $40 billion. They don't make money. These guys make money, and they're going to be worth $80 billion. That's 4 times. I'm losing track of the numbers. From $3.5 billion to $80 billion in value. Do the math, multiply it out, and you're over $1,000 a share. People say that's impossible. That's you got to be. You're dreaming, because no stock does that. I mean, Tesla doesn't. Oh, it did do that. Tesla went just split 5 for 1 a few months ago. It's $800 a share right now. It's a $4,000 stock. Well, that's one. That's just one. Google didn't do. Oh, Google is trading at thousands of dollars a share. Oh, that's just two. Well, let's talk about online. No other online company like Amazon at $3,200 a share. Oh, trading at 80 times earnings. Oh, it is happening. It does happen. Companies do that. They do trade at those levels. They have those kinds of multiples. And they're the darlings of Wall Street. They're the darlings of the street. You go into a bank in Canada and you talk to a financial advisor about your retirement plans, and they will try to talk you into a mutual fund that the bank is involved with, and they'll show you a prospectus or a printout of what the mutual fund holds, and you tell me the top 10 stocks that are inside the holdings of a lot of these growth mutual funds run by conservative financial managers, and here they are: Apple, Google, Amazon, Netflix, online, everything, on and on. The FANGs are there, and then everybody else, they're all online, they're all digital. That's what the conservative investment entities and the biggest, most popular ETFs, the biggest mutual funds in the United States, what common 15 stocks have they got? Every single time, there they are. Those are the stocks, thousands of dollars a share, split forward again and again and again. Yep. There they are. There they are. Apple is $130. It's actually $650, or not, four split. $500 a share is where Apple's. It's split 4 for 1. I think Tesla split 5 for 1. Yeah, thousands of dollars a share, and GameStop is the problem. Really? I don't think so. But there's today, and there's 3 months from now, and there's 6 months from now. And today, the TV boys are slamming the GameStop effect and the Reddit people mercilessly. 8.5 million people on Reddit now on Wall Street Bets. 8.5 million of you are following it. Apparently, a huge number of Americans have opened up brokerage accounts that have never had brokerage accounts before. They're ignoring that. They're poo-pooing that as a small little army of rebels trying to buy stock and make money on it. That's all it is. Yeah. Then there are hundreds of millions of people around the world that are discovering the stock market, because they too can get into the market with $100, $500, $1,000, $5,000. They don't need 50,000 or 100,000 to get into the market. They're coming in and they're looking for stuff to buy. What do I buy? And how do I buy? And what should I do when I buy? And many of them are figuring out, well, if you buy something, it's for a longer term time frame rather than flip overnight. It's a smart thing to do. And then when you do buy something, you sit with it and you don't flinch. You do a Warren Buffett. You give it time to develop out. And you just ignore the day-to-day trading patterns of the stock and don't let it get to you. Some can't handle it and they flip out and get lost and they're gone. Many stick around forever. And I think that is the direction this market is headed. A lot of people are not going to a traditional brokerage house because they don't feel welcome there. They're not welcome with open arms. When we were brokers, someone with $5,000 would come around, or $2,000, and they were saving $500 a month, and within a year they'd have $5,000. We'd open an account with them now. We just open up a small account with them now and put them into something conservative and just let them grow their portfolio. And then a year down the road, we've invested some time with them, and now it's time to make a longer term plan, investment plan. Yeah, because the broker was going to be there for 20 years. These 25-year-olds were going to be 45 when the customer went from 30 to 50, and they were lifelong partners in the objective of building wealth together. That was the business. That was the brokerage business when I was a stockbroker. That doesn't exist anymore. It's now an 8-second attention span world, including the investment business, because these bankers in Wall Street are coming up with a new IPO today, a new IPO tomorrow, another new IPO the day after that. It's all about the stimulus. It's all about the new election. We got an election in less than 2 years for the Congress and the Senate. We're going to be talking about that in a few months. That's all you're going to hear about, the next election. Then you're going to wait 6 months, and then it's the next presidential election. Short term, no long-term outlook, no long-term picture. How can anyone who's 25, 30 years old find a life partner in the investment trade? Because you're here today, you're gone later today. Everything is changing so quickly. And how dare you do it? But yet, how dare you do it on your own? That's the killer to me. How dare you want to do it by yourself? You should be using professionals on Wall Street. There are no professionals on Wall Street that'll take your call. That's the problem. It's just this old man going off. Hey, Bruce, the ISPs in America have started shutting off service to paying customers. One horrendous example was Cloudflare out of Los Angeles. Interesting comments here. Moving forward, I have just a bunch of you making donations to me, and I've ignored them, and I apologize. Bruce, the best app for Canadians asking for a friend. The best app for Canadians to trade stock? I don't have one. I don't invest myself. I better come clean with you folks who are new. I don't invest in the market. I don't have a single stock. I don't have any mutual funds. I don't buy into options. I'm just a commentator, yapping away from the living room of his house in Creston, British Columbia, with 40 odd years experience of the business, having been in the business over the years. And I'm just trying to explain it in plain English as to what is going on. If you want to know the different players in Canada to use an app to buy and sell stock, do a Google search and find out who they are, and then investigate them one by one. You may find articles from various publications out there that have ranked these guys or have done a chart to compare their fees, their services, what you can and cannot invest in. They've ranked them from 1 to 10 or something like that. You can look for that. I don't do that. I'm not here as an advisor. I'm here as a commentator to just tell you what I see happening. All right, Patrick, I used to work at Zappos.com, and this sounds exactly the same, and it was great for both employees and customers. Personal, emotional connection. Patrick, you've nailed it on the head. There's an absolute example of what GameStop's future is going to be with its client base. Yeah, its followers. And they're going after the world. They're not after just Americans or Canadians. They're going after the world. Patrick, that's a great comment. Thank you for that. Caravos, hi, Bruce. Thanks for the insight on Virgin Group, Acquisition Corp. While this is a long-term play, where do you see this going in the next month? Not much expected. I'm not expecting the stock to just run to $100 a share. They have got to finish the merger. It's only just started last week. It will take 2 to 3 months to fully complete. The shares right now, 1406. This is the buy zone. The Gore's holding stock is down 54 cents today at 16.79. It's $1.50 to $2 away from buy territory as well on its merger. But these take 2 to 3 months to complete. It's possible that in a month from now, both of these shares will drift a little higher because they're getting closer to the day when they will list. But it still will be a month ahead. You got to give this a bit of time. But here at this point in time, these are acquirable in a conservative way. Be a real picky buyer, and just put in a bid at 1402 for VG acquisition, or wait for Gore's to come back into that 14-15 range. I hope it gets there. I'm not guaranteeing it will, but let's keep an eye on it as each day goes by. This is the first day it's been down in like 5 days. Trivo, Bruce, listening to Uncle Brucey past week every morning. Cheers. Thank you, Trivo. I sure hope you're enjoying it, folks. I appreciate you tolerating it. Even sometimes I get sick of myself. Brosef, I bought Netflix at the ATH in 2011. Sold it as it went down and lost money. I'm holding GameStop even if it takes 10 years. There you go. Vigu, Uncle Bruce, why don't you own any stocks when you're so knowledgeable? Like I said, I do not want to have a scenario where there's a conflict of interest between me and my viewers. I want to be free to say whatever the heck I want about whatever the heck I'm following, and not worry about someone coming back at me going, well, of course he's going to say that because he owns shares in that company. I just am not interested. I am actually compensated by those of you making these donations to me, watching the ads on my YouTube channels, both channels. I'm getting premium revenue from premium members who are paying so much a month to YouTube to not get commercials. Those are my sources of income, and I appreciate it. Over on Traveling with Bruce, I have sponsor members who are paying a $10 a month fee to be in the sponsor member group, and I give them 2 live private hangout shows a week for that donation. So if you want to hang out with Uncle Brucey on a very intimate way, become a sponsor member of Traveling with Bruce, the other channel I have. Join the club. $9.99 a month, 33 cents a day, and you get to join me twice a week. Mondays at 7 o'clock Eastern time for 1 hour, and Fridays. Now, Fridays, it used to be 3 o'clock in the afternoon, but now I'm live here, so I'm now going live on Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern time on that channel. And we hang out, and you can ask me anything you want about whatever, and it is a very enjoyable get-together. The viewers, the sponsor members, they get to know each other because it's the same names every week. But it's a growing community, and on that channel, you can join if you like. So that's how it works. That's why I don't own stock. I have to make a living bringing you information that you find interesting. And so I'm on the ball and on the spot. And instead of me getting lucky on a trade and making 50 grand and now only going on live maybe once a week because, hey, I'm sitting on a bunch of cash here, I don't need to do it. I have to work every day to make this channel work because I want more than 50,000 subscribers. I'm not satisfied that this channel is almost at 50,000 subs. It's great, but it's not good enough. There are channels out there with over 1 million subs, and I've got to get to that kind of level if I have a hope of making a decent living doing this. And that's why I'm here busting my hump. 3 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the afternoon. You're welcome to join me, and thank you for these donations. You're keeping Jen and I in the chips. We love you. Johnny, I have always said to find the truth about understanding the stock market is also almost impossible. Absolutely love your show. It's not easy. I agree. There are people with ulterior motives. I used to love when I was younger, when I was in my 30s, I used to watch Lou Dobbs. Lou Dobbs used to be on CNN. Before they created the financial network, Lou Dobbs was on CNN giving updates on the market. And there were other personalities they had, business personalities on CNN giving market updates. And I used to enjoy it. And then they opened up the CNN FN station, and I didn't get that because I'm in Canada. There's certain things we couldn't get. And so I lost track of Lou Dobbs until he went over to Fox, and he joined the Fox network. And then Lou came out and started talking about what he thought about what was going on. Rather than reporting, he started putting in his own personal opinion. And the Fox viewers loved him for it because we all have our viewers, and he had his. And there you go. But in my case here, I am Uncle Bruce giving you my thoughts from Canada. You're getting a viewpoint from a guy not in your neighborhood if you're from America. I mean, if you're in Florida, you're in Arizona, California, Texas, I'm not your neighbor. I'm up here. I'm your neighbor north of you. But I'm giving you this perspective from over here. And we are dominated by news from America, obviously, because in my case, it's 3 miles south of my house is America. But you're also going to get a little more of an outside view. For some of you, you can't stand it, and some of you love it. And my European viewers, God bless you for being here. So grateful that you're here. You're making contributions to the show, my channel. I love you guys, and you're giving me your input as well. It's more of a big open house rather than me being in New York in Manhattan, giving you the scene there. There's all kinds of guys giving you the New York scene. If you want the Wall Street view only, if that's what you want, there's all kinds of guys who'll give you that. But I'll give you my view from out here, and I hope you like it. I hope you find it informative, and if I can explain what's going on in a simple, plain English way, if it's working for you, I'm a happy guy because that's what I want to do for you. I try to get through the gobbledygook if at all possible. Caitlin, hi Bruce. Have you looked at OPEN? I'm a realtor, and I see firsthand how Open Door is taking over the real estate market, sleeping giant. I haven't looked at that particular company. No, I have followed from time to time Zillow.com, how that transformed real estate in its own unique way 15 years ago or 10 years ago when they first came out. Amazing. And I understand that right now the real estate market has really gone up for home prices. The rental business is huge. The realtors are busy. A lot of realtors are selling homes in a virtual way rather than in a physical, show me the house, let's walk through it together. I get it. I know why that's happening. I can tell you, even in this little town where I am, real estate is selling. The houses around here don't last long. If they're any good at all, they go up and they go out. But I don't know this company specifically. I haven't looked at it yet. when I get the time. Someday I will, but at the moment, I'm following so much happening out here and aware of what's happening elsewhere, including this real estate market, which is really evolving. Amazing, absolutely amazing. Let's see here. The very first Canadian I met in Canada had one arm. Life's just 21. I'm trying to buy a house. I can't find one. Ugh. Jorge, Mexico is in the house. How you doing, Jorge? Thank you, everybody, for coming by here. Oh, my gosh. Sin, Benji T, with you, man. Cancel Netflix before the pandemic. Never got it back. Finally got kicked. My ex-parents' Hulu account a few weeks ago. We broke up 4 years ago. It's Bruce all the way. That's what I'm watching. I'm Bruce all the way. Clash to win. $200,000 sold over asking. So hot here in Ontario. Housing prices taking off. Chamath is a man. Some of his interviews, he goes beast mode on old school investors. Yeah, I like watching him talk. Pound that like button. Support Uncle Bruce. How are we doing for likes today? The live show. Here we go. We've got 847 thumbs ups coming from you guys so far. Thank you for that. Over 2,000 of you have been here most of the morning, which is kind of cool. Thank you for that too. If you can spare a thumbs up for this show, that would be terrific. Excuse me. That helps the momentum of the channel. It makes YouTube want to promote the channel to other people. And the more that happens, the more subscribers I'm getting, the more followers I'm getting, and more people will be up on what we're talking about here and what we're covering. We're about to hit 1,000 thumbs up. So we're at 984. Hit that thumbs up, folks, and let's get over 1,000 right now. 990. And are we over 1,000 now? Come on, baby. There it is. Over 1,000 thumbs ups. You guys are awesome. Keep them coming, guys. That would be absolutely wonderful if we can reach 2,000 today, maybe more. The more thumbs ups, the merrier. By the way, I don't make any more money just because you're giving me thumbs ups. It doesn't mean I make more money. What it means, though, I get more exposure, and the channel in the long run gets larger. And yeah, then eventually it turns into more advertising revenue, I hope, or a higher ad rate per 1,000 people watching, because advertisers will be alerted by the YouTube analytics to say, oh, you want to advertise to a certain kind of demographic? Well, this channel here, Stock Markets with Bruce, definitely where you want to head to. So you're definitely helping me if you're giving me thumbs ups. There's no question about it. Thank you, everybody. Kelly, love you too. Thank you for being with me today. I really appreciate it. Here we go. Astro Tony. Woody, if you sell a stock and then repurchase it within 30 days, the IRS considers this a wash sale and the sale is not recognized for tax purposes. I can't comment on this kind of stuff because I'm not a tax guy. It's just not my shtick. You have to talk to your own tax professionals on that kind of stuff. And, there you go. If you're watching YouTube with ads, you're doing something wrong, says Killer. A lot of folks buy this premium service that YouTube offers, which includes, I think, unlimited music, access to music, and other perks. And then you get to watch YouTube videos without those commercials at the beginning or whatever. It actually makes me more money if you do that and then watch me. I actually make more money off of you. The folks who do that, they are, I think 55% of their money that they're paying YouTube goes to creators based on how many minutes you watch a creator for. And so the more minutes you watch me as a premium member, I get a percentage of that money, that 55% of your donation to YouTube. And that's more than what ads pay me, interestingly enough. So every day I see my stats come out and it'll tell me, oh, you made this much money from advertising. You made this much money from donations. And here's how much money you're making from the premium members. And because I'm live 5 hours a day, some of these premium members are watching me for an hour at a time, 2 hours at a time, the whole show, 15 minutes. These add up to a lot of pennies, and they collectively just get piled into the little pot, and then it's telling me this is how much money you made on premium members. It's a fact that I actually make more money per premium member than money from an average viewer without premium. Does that make sense? It's an amazing thing. Kevin, what effect do you think all of the new retail investors will have during a downturn? Deeper lows, more stability, or no effect? I think more stability. That's my guess. It all depends on the type of investors, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again. If you're putting in money into the stock market that you should be paying your credit cards off with, or you're using your credit cards and you're taking a cash advance to invest in the market to make some money to pay off your credit card, bad strategy, stressful strategy, not good. I don't recommend it. But for those millions of you out there, tens of millions out there worldwide, if you're putting in $500 to try the stock market, and then you'll add another $500 maybe in a month to just kind of, see how it goes. And you're investing in long-term positions rather than overnight sensations, you're going to be around a while. You're going to be around a long time. And you're not going to get caught with a panic problem if the Dow drops 10% in 3 days with a correction, or a 15% correction in 2 weeks. You're not going to be going, oh, God, I borrowed this money at 23% interest on my credit card, and I bought this high-flying stock, and I'm off 70%, and I can't make my minimum monthly payment on my credit card. And you're not an investor. You're a desperado, and you shouldn't be in the market. You have $1,000 in the market, and your stock is down 20%, 30%, and your attitude is, I'm in for the long term of this company because I believe in the end game. You're not going to let 10 or 20% bother you on the open market. You're just not going to let it bother. You're not going to move. You're not going to do anything. You're just going to sit there. You might actually put another 500 in the market and average down on some stocks because you're seeing them on sale. That is the prudent thing to be doing. That's what the rich are doing. The very well-to-do, they buy when the market is low. They sell when the market is at all-time highs, or at the very least, they are hedging their bets. They're locking in their gains at these high levels by buying put contracts against their portfolios, or they're buying ETFs that will go up in value if the market goes down in value. They are hedging and protecting their investment. So if the market takes a 20% dump in 3 weeks, it doesn't matter. They profit on the way down just as much as they're losing on the way down, and they're just as rich as they are right now at record highs. That is a strategy that the well-to-do are doing with their investment advisors in New York, with their top investment advisors around the world. They're not just in New York; they're everywhere. But they only talk to the high net worth people because they don't want your business if you only got a couple of $1,000. They don't want to talk to you. They haven't got time to talk to you for a $2,000 investment. You don't make enough commissions for them. Just signed up for YouTube Premium Bruce watching channel. Hey, welcome aboard. Way to go. Enjoy it. There's benefits for that. And like I say, I benefit if you benefit. There's no question about it. YouTube benefits me. They reward me for watch time. They reward me for watch time a lot. And 2 weeks ago, when we were running 15,000 viewers at the same time on the show, GameStop was going silly. I was racking up silly view minutes. I mean, millions of minutes a day of watch time. And the premium money that was coming in I'd never seen it before like that. But that was all a reflection of how many people were here. That's just all it is. Nathan Jones. Yep, YouTube Premium has given free items back to members. Got a Nest, Mini, and their Strata controller free, along with supporting those I tune into. Win-win. Exactly. I mean, YouTube loves it when people sign up for premium services. They love it. I only wish they would give creators a bonus if we were pitching it for them. They don't. I don't get. You become a premium member while you're watching me. I get nothing for that from YouTube. Just your minutes going forward, which again I appreciate. And so, yeah, if half of my viewers were premium viewers, I'd make more money on that than advertising. I really would. I'd make far more money because it's like double or triple the actual cash coming to me through premium viewers than just regular advertising viewers. It's quite substantial. But it was a year ago such a small sliver of my Traveling with Bruce channel. It would be like 1% of my gross revenue would come from premium. Now it's more like 5 and 6%. Where here, it's more like 30 to 35% of my revenue from YouTube from advertising versus premium. Premium is really rising, but then I'm on the air for the longer period of time. So that's how that works. Let's see how the markets are doing. We're down on the markets for the stocks that I'm following with you, which is interesting. The Dow is up 62. Let me go over here to kind of get this, make sure it's up to speed. Up 64, 9 points practically on the S&P, and a gain of 49 on NASDAQ. Just seeing here a headline, Bumble is going to open for trading on Thursday. Bumble will open for trading on Thursday on, I guess, the New York Exchange, collecting 2.2 billion. There are other companies going public on Thursday. Signify Health, Apria, BioVentus, and Loan Depot are all going to be trading. Bumble delivered the day's biggest deal when it sold 50 million shares at 43 each, raising $2.2 billion. It initially filed to sell 34.5 million shares at 28 to 30. It boosted its offering earlier this week to 45 million shares at 37 to 39, and now it has ultimately done a 50 million share deal at $43. Goldman Sachs and Citigroup were the lead underwriters of the deal. And it is a woman-first dating app because it allows women to make the first move. Women, once they match with someone, have something hours to start a conversation with their target, it says. They operate 2 apps, Bumble and Badoo. 40 million users visit the site each month to connect to new people. Bumble had 12.3 million monthly active users as of September 30, where Badoo had 28.4, according to Sensor Tower data. Blackstone Group acquired a majority stake in Bumble in November 19 at a $3 billion valuation. Blackstone will have 82.5% of the combined voting power in Bumble after the IPO. The president of the company will have 14.4%, they say in the prospectus. There you go. To me, I find that it's an interesting thing to read. It's impressive to read that kind of money, but it's also, to me, disturbing that amount of cash going into a company like this, and the Blackstone guys have 82% of the votes, and they fear no one. No investor can make this company be better if it doesn't deliver on fundamental returns. And that's the problem I'm having with these new IPOs that are coming out. They're coming out at higher prices, and they open for trading. Let's say here's Thursday. That's tomorrow. They're going to open for trading. No, they're open for trading. Isn't that today? Or what am I talking about? Isn't today Thursday? They're going to open eventually, and you're going to be paying much more than the $40 a share price if you as a retail investor want in on this deal. So I kind of wonder about that. I go, really? What's that all about? This is February the 11th. Today is Thursday. So it's going to open later today. So it should open later today. All right, fair enough. And they'll probably try to match the market all day long. So we'll keep an eye on this later today to see when they open it up. They're probably trying to pre-market now. That will be covered on CNBC, I'm sure. And over here, we'll keep an eye open for it. All right, so there's the markets. They're up. The Dow, S&P, NASDAQ. Now, on Gore Holdings 6, down 33 cents to $17 a share. Virgin Group down 2 cents to $14.27. GameStop at the moment was $49.92. I'm seeing it around $50, down about $1.20, $49.99 right now. AMC down 21 cents to $5.59. Bed Bath & Beyond down 41 cents to $28.61. BlackBerry down 30 cents at $12.80. Electronic Arts is up 69 cents to 145. On the cruise side, Royal Caribbean up 87 cents, Norwegian up 28 cents, and Carnival up a nickel. And Carnival last night after the bell made a press release to say in a filing, a SEC filing, they are raising another $3.5 billion through unsecured senior notes guaranteed by all of their cruise lines. That includes Carnival, Holland America, Princess Cruise Line, Cunard, Costa, P&O, Seabourn. All their brands are guaranteeing a $3.5 billion financing. Interest of 5.75% is all they have to pay for this money. I couldn't believe it when I read this announcement. You only got to pay 5.75% interest. Those bonds are rated 4 notches below junk status which means they are ineligible to be purchased by most pension funds around the world. They're not allowed to buy junk bonds. I think most mutual funds won't touch it either. So it's the secondary bond market, and they're getting the money. They're getting it. The stock is up 4 cents. They're that much more in the hole right now. I will admit some of that money is going to buy back bonds, notes that are maturing, some later this year, some next year. The rest is for corporate purposes because they are burning $650 million a month to keep all their ships ready to go when they can start sailing again. They're not going to start sailing with those ships until late this year into next year. That's another 8 months of burn of $650 million. That's $5 billion that Carnival will burn off into the atmosphere, not making any money. This $3.5 billion will only cover a portion of that. The money they have on hand already will burn the rest. They'll need to raise even more. It's just incredible to me. The stock's at $20.98. I don't know why. Should be $5 a share. I don't know. Stephen, it sounds like you want to hustle on YouTube more than you want to trade. Wouldn't it be easier to make money trading? Is YouTube more fulfilling? Well, again, I love to be just the mouthpiece and just share my opinion. And I'm just glad that there's an audience that wants to hear it. I'm thrilled. I've been there. I've done the trading. I've made money. I've lost money. I hate losing money. I'm now 65. I'm no longer going to be the aggressive chaser of wins because I'm 65 now. And Jen and I, we're getting on, and I don't know how much longer I can keep going. I have no idea how long I'll be a YouTuber, but I really would rather just be the commentator and follow and spout my opinion on what I think is happening, and then you decide whether it's worth your while to watch or not. That's where I feel comfortable in my skin doing it this way, but I can't do both. There's no way I could live with myself and be a trader behind your back and try to tell you to buy this when I already have it. I just can't play that game. I just don't believe in it, and I'm not going there. Thank you. Hey, Bruce, can you look at HCMC? They have a $3 billion patent lawsuit versus Philip Morris. I've been writing it since 1/10 of a penny and it's a crazy experience so far. These kind of deals, I just don't get into them. I don't follow them, and I won't. You're hoping for a long shot, some kind of settlement thing. I've got news for you. They'll go to trial, and then there'll be an appeal, and there'll be another appeal, and there'll be there'll be delays and delays and delays. If you're looking for a payoff from a lawsuit kind of thing, this could be your life mission, and I don't know if you'll ever win or not. I really, it's not. I don't recommend going into stuff like that, but that's just me. LOL, Pop, Lollipop, newbie question. If I buy a call option and I resell it at a profit, is that the same profit I would make by exercising the contract? Oh, that's a good question. Okay. If you buy a call option and let's say it's GameStop, the GameStop shares are now what, $50.55. You buy a $50 exercise price call option that expires this Friday, right? It dies tomorrow. I'm not sure what it would cost you, but there'll still be some value to it. But let's say you're paying, I don't know, $5 for it. I'm making it up. You're buying a call contract that expires tomorrow at the money. Let's say the stock's at 50 and the exercise is at 50. It's costing you $5. That's expensive. That is crazy. But the stock goes to 60 today. It goes to 60 for 15 minutes. Your call contract, when that stock is at $60, is worth book value $10. It won't trade though for $10 a share, $10 a contract, which is a $1,000 contract. It will trade at $12.50. Why? Because it still has until tomorrow before it expires. It's got a little bit of time left, not a lot, but it still is a contract that expires Friday, not today. So you buy at $5, you sell at $12.50, you made $7.50 profit on your investment of $5. Okay? You didn't exercise the stock. You did nothing. If you exercise the stock option, you've got to come up with $5,000 to buy the 100 shares at $50, and then you sell them into the market for 60. You make your $10 profit, assuming that by the time you've exercised and the shares are still at $60 at that moment in time, you've locked in your $10 gain less the $5 you paid for your contract. So you only got a $5 profit. Where if you buy the contract now at $5 and it goes to $12.50 because the stock went to $60, you're up $7.50 on the contract. You're making more money on the sale of the contract than exercising the contract, because you can't sell the contract and exercise the contract. You either sell the contract or you exercise the contract. You're not going to exercise the contract. You're going to take the $12.50. Why wouldn't you? That's $1,250 for a $500 investment. If the shares go to $80 a share tomorrow morning, something wacky happens, your contract is a $50 contract. It expires tomorrow night at the end of the day. But in the morning, the stock's $80. Your contract is worth $30 book value, because you can buy the stock at $50. It's trading at $80. But it will trade at $30.50 because it expires this afternoon. Sell it for $30 and say thank you. Just take your money, and you don't have to go through any of the hoops and the exercising, and then just take your money and run. It took $500, turned into $3,000, and now buy another contract if you want to, and see what happens. Or take the $3,000 and now buy stock. But remember, it's at 80 now. Do you want to buy it at 80, or are you going to sit back and go, it might go back to 50 or 60? I might buy call contracts again. Let's see if the stock goes back first, or is it going to go from 80 to 100 now? I'll let you know. We'll figure that out later. But that's how these contracts work. All right. So you really don't want to exercise it. You're going to just sell it. All right. Bradley says he would go broke and Jen would leave him if he invested in stocks. Now, there you go. She wouldn't be very happy with me. Stock market with Bruce. Thoughts on MVIS winner of the day? Haven't been covering other stocks at this point. I'm trying to keep up with these comments. Let me keep going. Bruce, just have fun with us. Enjoy it. Let Bruce be Bruce. Bruce, follow up from yesterday. Do you like fish and chips? Occasionally, not often. 24K. Yep. And I appreciate your content, Bruce. You're doing great. I laugh at my, Bumble pricing their shares starting at $43. Unbelievable, right? Other comments, tons of comments. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Having trouble keeping up with all your comments here. Hang on. There we go. Thank you from Matt. First name, last name, new lifestyle. Kay, is it me or are the markets still negative? Where are we at right now? Dow still up 55. The big boards are up. The stocks we're following right now are down. At least I'm following a lot of these. My doctor has his opinions. I just shut him down. Bumble is hot garbo. You see that like button? Hit that for Bruce. Bruce is real. Hey, Bruce, I'm 31 now. What investments for long-term would you recommend if I can only put in £100 a month? Buy ETFs that cover a number of different stocks, exchange-traded funds. They're kind of like mutual funds, but they're publicly traded. You can buy shares in those. And one sector I would look at would be the chip stocks. Chip manufacturers can't keep up with the orders. Ford has got a shortage. Sony's got a shortage. Computer, laptop maker, a shortage of chips. Couple of names you may want to keep an eye on would be, I took a photograph today on CNBC. Unabashedly, I took a photo here of the screen on my TV. NVIDIA, Intel, Qualcomm, Advanced Micro, Broadcom. I would buy an ETF that has those. Yeah, if those are in an ETF and they have other manufacturers, I'd buy those and just see if you can make a profit on the shortage of chips for the foreseeable future. That might be an area to go into. FANG stocks, buy an ETF that have a bunch of FANG stocks. If it's only £100 and you're adding this per month for the next couple of years, pick up an ETF or two that diversify you out into high growth areas like this, and just put money into. You're spreading your money out over a bunch of stocks, not one story, and try that. But if you want to buy GameStop stock, half into GameStop, half into an ETF, you can try that, or some of these others that I've mentioned that are merging these. You're partially gambling and you're partially investing. Okay, up to you, whatever your risk tolerance is. Okay, William Jones, thank you, Bruce. It is worth my time to listen to you. You don't have to prove anything trading now. You already did that. No need to repeat the past. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate that. I'm happy you're here, and I'm happy you're enjoying the show. Love you, Bruce, says Andrew. Rydor, I'm selfish. I'm glad you're here to share your wisdom. Totally works for me. Thank you, guys. Yin and Yang, Bruce is spitting facts this morning. Thoughts on the 3D printing industry? Gosh, I have no exposure to that I'm aware of, that I'm into. There's nothing I can do. Let's see. GameStop should buy Gilroy. Is that what you're saying? Or Tilray? Yeah, okay. Laughing my, off. GameStop going to be selling eighths and wax and used controllers. Okay. What else have we got? Let's go. Oh, Caitlin, thank you for this comment and donation. Bruce, how do you feel about Etsy with inflation and job loss? I see more people looking for ways to make secondary income. Is this the new Shopify? Etsy's been around a while. Shopify, eBay, and others. There are many people in these spaces. That's a maturing business. But yes, the more desperate times are, and the more tougher things are going, more people are leaning these directions. But they're no longer the wonder stocks they used to be. eBay as an investment 15 years ago, 20 years ago was the new thing. I did eBay for a while at one time. I did sell on eBay for a while. But that's going back to the mid 2000 range. That was like 05, 06. And, the shares, the company had been public a few years. I think Meg Whitman was still running it when I was doing eBaying way back when. But they have competition now. They have many more joiners. But you pick your spots. I don't have a negative opinion, but I don't have a positive opinion on them either. I'm just not into them in a big way. All right. Here's a good comment from Red. Call options give leverage at a fraction of the cost, but have an expiry date where they can expire worthless. Whereas owning the stock, you don't lose 100% value unless the company goes broke. That's exactly right. You want to spend $500 on a call contract that could die in 24 hours, in 7 days, in 14 days for zero. You go 500 to zero. That's the risk you take with a call option or a put option. But if you buy $500 of a stock, you won't make 10 times your money necessarily in a week or two because you don't have the leverage of a call contract. But if the stock goes up 30%, you've made 30%. And if it takes 2 months for a stock to go up 20, 30%, 40%, the call contract may have expired a long time ago and you lost it all, but the stock eventually gets to where you think it was going and you've got it. There's no time limit on holding the stock. If you buy it for cash, you own it. You're the boss and the broker can't mess with you. Neither can the option players mess with you either. Okay. That's kind of where I'm coming from on that. What else is going on here? Let's see. There's a huge sell wall right now on SNDL. Folks, follow it all you want. These shares, they're jumping around. The market right now, the Dow is up 25 only right now, so it's weakening a little, but it never had a big run today. It's up 25, 26 points. S&P up 6, and Nasdaq up 52. We're really just kind of hanging around these high levels that we kind of got to in the last, in this last week or so. That's where we're at right now. And GameStop is at 50.59, down 61 cents on the day so far today. That's where it's at. All righty. Where else are we going on here? Any other comments? Cruise industry won't recover. Let's see. I feel the market is still red. Frankie, hey Bruce, I love your streams. I know you watch stocks, but how do you feel about crypto? And now all these hedge funds saying they're finally bullish on it. I still, to me, it's the Wild West. what I worry about with crypto is the volatility of cryptocurrencies, and the fact that there are no real assets against them. There's nothing to kick at. Like Bitcoin at 47,800, up 2,800. It was down 2,000 yesterday. It's up 2,800 today. This is crazy volatility for a currency. Most currencies move in 1/100ths of a percentage point per day. 4 1/100ths, 8 1/100ths of a percentage point. These things are moving 6%, 5% a day. You put together a 5-day losing streak on whatever investment you have, including crypto, and you could have Bitcoin going from 47,000 to 25,000 in a week, and that wipes out billions and billions of dollars of value just everywhere. I just can't get in there. I just can't get my head around that world. But I'm showing my age, certainly. What can I say? Anyway, there you go. What else? Folks asking me here. Lots of comments coming in here. Let's go. PayPal is up again, someone is saying. Facebook still doesn't know which of the 50 is me. I don't know what that means. What else do we have here? Chad. Hi, Bruce. I know you mentioned that you're kind of retired. With this in mind, do you currently have money in the market? No, I don't. I've said this a billion times. If you're new, I forgive you. If you've been around here a while, I don't forgive you. You should have known that. But if you're new, it's okay. Thanks, Chad. No, I don't have any money in the market. And my income is still coming from YouTube. That's where I make my living. YouTube advertising, premium members on YouTube, donations. That's what it's about. Some folks are making donations to my channel, picking up these guys, these cell phone amplifiers, or I had a few weeks ago, I had some postcards that I had available. They're all gone now. And I thank people for their donation for that. But it's basically the YouTube side of it. I have 2 channels, and that's where I'm at right now. If you use Robinhood, transfer everything into Fidelity and delete the app. They are crooks and they're cheating you, says Travis. A lot of people are upset with Robinhood lately. I can tell you that. Bruce, Summers and Bruce. So my understanding, would you recommend SMH ETF at 240? I'm not recommending any particular name brand. I'm just suggesting you do some due diligence, do some homework, do some Google searching, and you'll find ETFs that are out there and they're run by different outfits. You might find product from certain houses, investment firms, or certain investment entities, and you have to find the one that suits your taste. There might be certain places you can buy and sell ETFs through, and other places you can't. You've got to figure that out. You've got to figure out whether you can buy an ETF commission-free or not. You got to figure out what an ETF's fees are that they charge for running their ETFs. You have homework to do, and but it is a way to get into the market and diversify yourself into either a sector of the market, the economy, or index funds themselves, or dividends following ETFs, growth ETFs, high-tech ETFs, real estate ETFs, banking ETFs. I mean, there's every sector you can imagine. I just like the certain areas that I'm watching, and I notice there's a shortage of chips out there for PCs, gaming systems, automobiles. Chip shortage is real, and I think that the chip manufacturers are winners right now because they can't make their product fast enough. And if you can get into an ETF that happens to have a collection of these outfits, and if this is the one you want, great. Look at its performance and figure it out for yourself. More power to you. They are a more conservative way most of the time to get into a market, but there are ETFs that are high-flying type ETFs that have volatility. You have to decide for yourself what kind of volatility can you stand and what do you want to try. If that's a vague answer, I apologize, but I leave it to you to kind of go from there. Mike, how you doing? Any thoughts on ARKK? Are those gains possibly stay at that rate? Love you. Don't know about that one either. Like I said, I'm not I'm not into any particular ETF as a recommendation. I don't recommend any of them per se. I just recommend the concept, and you've got to find the one you like and go from there. Can you name some of these companies? Nope, I cannot. Let's see. Oh my gosh. Here we go. Bence, my broker Interactive does not allow ETF trading for retail investors. This is why I mentioned that. I mentioned some firms won't allow you and some will. You have to figure out who you can use and how and whatnot. For some of you, the answer might be that you buy mutual funds. You don't even buy ETFs. Well, that is old school. Mutual funds have been around for decades, long time. But they have their quirks. They have their, methods. But for some of you, it might be the way to go. You might need to go through a bank to buy a mutual fund. You might need to go through another online entity to do it. And depending on where you live and what jurisdiction you're in, there are certain tax ramifications for certain kinds of investments. That's why there's no easy answer. This is why I think people need to find a financial advisor that can help them. The problem is that the so-called independent financial advisor has been made extinct by the big investment houses over the decades. Guys like me that were brokers and investment advisors, that I used to go to seminars all the time for knowledge of new investing ideas coming up and new instruments coming up. I used to go to these seminars sponsored by the Securities and Exchange Commissions and all that. I used to have to go to that as a branch manager. I had to go to these things to then educate my brokers what was going on. Those days are gone. It almost doesn't exist anymore. There's very few firms left that allow small retail investors to come in the door anymore, because they don't view you as an asset worth having. They view you as an expense and as a bother because you're not rich enough. And that's a sad story. That really is. Have you talked about a Reddit IPO yet? Just joined. I've not talked about a Reddit IPO. There's rumors of it. I don't know how that's going to go. It could happen. There are certainly millions of people joining into the Reddit environment. I mean, Twitter is publicly traded company. Facebook is a publicly traded company. Why can't Reddit go public? I guess they could, but I don't know any details about whether they're going to go public through a SPAC or whether they're going to go public through a direct listing or whether they will go public through an IPO. This I don't know. All right. Tom Martin, stock market. I had a financial advisor who helped my wife and I get a house. Then when we asked where we should invest our savings, he said life insurance. You could get life insurance for the two of you, and you're putting in money every month towards the policy, and a certain portion is going to cover your health, and the rest of it is going to investments. For some of you, that might be a tack to follow. Again, it depends on where you live, how old you are, where your income is coming from, how's your health. This is where you need it. Now, there again, it's not like you can't find an advisor. There are people out there who can help you. There are a lot of advisors who are independent, not affiliated with big banking organizations. They're like to use a term, they're like a mom and pop advisory outfit. Might have been a former banker that retired or is no longer at the bank anymore at age 45, and now is being an investment consultant. And they might be able to steer you in the right direction where you can go. That might be the kind of people you'll find. Google search in your neighborhood, in your town, in your city for different financial advisory services. You may find someone who will talk to you on the phone for $25 for an hour and give you a bunch of ideas. Again, knowing where you are, where you live, what state or city or country you're in, with your tax situations there, your situation, your age, and all. It might be that they would normally visit you in person, but with COVID, they can only do maybe a Zoom call with you. They might ask you for certain information. They'll then go to work and come back to you with a report and say, okay, well, based on what you told me, here's what I recommend you might want to do or not do or should think about. Here are 5 options for you: conservative, a little riskier, wild and wacky, all this sort of stuff. It all depends on the advisor, and you might talk to one and you don't like them. After a day or two, you think about it and go, I didn't like the way this guy was presenting to me. I spent $25 or $50 and I got some information, but I'm going to talk to another one. And you make another investment. Maybe a month later or 3 months later, you talk to another advisor, or you talk to a friend, a relative who says, oh, I know who you should talk to. I got someone that was really good, or they helped, a friend of mine with their situation. They really are knowledgeable. Some of these folks have websites that you're allowed to peruse, and there's a lot of free advice in there, and that might spur you to connect with them and say, hey, I found your website really interesting. I have a specific situation. Can I talk to you about it? You might email them first, and then he get back to you, and then you figure it out. You got to take the initiative. Megan, how you doing? The point of Reddit is a public forum. I personally don't believe in it being traded. Well, so was Twitter. It was a public forum for people to share information. Facebook, a public forum for people to share and connect. They're public. They are trading. Google, public company. They own YouTube. I'm in a public company through Alphabet, which is Google. We're here. We are. We're public. I mean, there's just so much of the public domain and chat and what we're part of a public company, and so Reddit could go down the road to that direction, and then maybe diversify their platform situations for the next 10, 15 years. I have no idea, but there has been talk, Megan, that maybe one day that Alphabet, Google, will take YouTube and split it into a separate company and take it public, let it go public, where Google would still own 85% of the voting rights on the company's affairs, but sell 15% to the investment public as a stock offering, therefore valuing Google even higher in value, because now YouTube would trade at a public value of some kind. Rumor has it $15 to $20 billion market value for this entity and growing dramatically. I don't know. Then my channel would be part of a publicly traded standalone company rather than part of a company that's a subsidiary company of a publicly traded company. This is the way of the world. What can I say? For right or for wrong, for good or for bad, that's what we've got. That's what we're in. That's what I'm in. If I make it, when you make donations to me out there and I get ad revenue going, and those of you who are paying premium services to watch me, you're helping Google make money. There's no question about it, because I'm helping Google make money doing what I do. And so they're making money and they're paying me for my time and my efforts based on my view numbers and my engagement and my watch time. That's what's happening. I mean, that's just the free world. In China, you can't watch me, you can't hear me, and you can't comment on my show, because in China you're not allowed to have free expression and to hear someone else's free expression. You're only going to get the government line. And welcome to their world, and I feel sorry for them. Anyway, that's that. Danielle, morning, Bruce. I'd love to get your thoughts on the hydrogen fuel cell auto market. I see that Hyzon Motors is entering a SPAC, DCRB, and they produce large trucks and buses. Hydrogen fuel and the cell auto market has been talked about as a fantasy for 30 years. And more of it is becoming a reality as we speak. It's a matter of volume. Like anything else, if you can produce something in a volume way, then the cost per unit drops. Remember the price of a VCR or the price of cell phones when they first came out versus what you can get cell phones at now, depending on the brand. Television costs, have plummeted. The more you produce, the cheaper it gets. Microwaves. Remember microwaves? I remember buying a microwave or seeing microwaves at $2,000. Then the price break, they broke $1,000. You could get a microwave for less than $1,000. Oh my God. what an opportunity. Now you can buy microwaves for $49.99 at Walmart that used to run thousands of dollars 30 years ago. Same thing with this business here. On the one hand, it's exciting because, they're breaking new ground into this technology. On the other hand, they are successful. They will have copycats from other countries get into this, and the business will become very competitive, and the margins might shrink very quickly. By the time these guys get their dollars back that they've sunk into all the technology, they might only get 1/5 the kind of money they thought they were going to get per unit, because there's so many other players in the game now. So I don't know. This particular company, I don't know anything about it, don't know anything about this exact thing. But my thought is, I'm excited that this is happening. I'm really happy to see, the auto business go electric now. They're talking, let's go electric. Yeah, finally. I mean, it's only 20 years behind. We've been driving electric golf carts, think nothing of it. Since the 80s, we've been driving electric golf carts and think nothing of driving electric golf carts with the primitive car battery technology. And now we're finally getting automobiles going electric when the technologies existed for decades. But Tesla had to show the world how you do it at scale. And it's working very well. Now others are coming into it. Within 10 years, electric cars will be available all over the place. The pricing will be much, much lower. And then you're going to have the best brand, the medium brand, the high-end brand. And it's a matter of performance and range and quality and warranty and all of that. And the margins will get thinner and thinner and thinner as all the car companies get into the game. And you're going to have the same problem as we've had before with car companies. They have billions of dollars of assets making a couple of $1 million of profit. And they got to move a lot of volume to make the billions of bucks in profit. And that's the big problem with the car companies. They don't make 20 grand a car when they sell a car for $35,000. You can't make 20 grand profit. Too many middlemen in the middle of it all, and too much competition. And so the cost of production is 22 grand and they're selling it for 24, and there's $2,000 a car maybe. Now how many can you sell? And you got to move a ton of units to make millions and billions of bucks. It's just the way of the world though, isn't it? People who make microwaves today are not making billions of dollars in profits. Because how can you make billions of dollars in profits on a $50 retail value, $99 retail price of a microwave at Walmart? How much profit is in a $99 Walmart bought microwave? There isn't $150 profit in a $99 sale. It's not going to happen. So all the way down the line, all the parts makers for that microwave, pennies a part, $1 for this part, 88 cents for that part. Assemble it together, make the microwave for $15, wholesale it out for $45, distribute it out for $65, retail it for $99. Who's getting rich? No one's getting rich. It's just flowing money. That's what we've got. Hit the thumbs up button for Bruce. Sharon, thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for following me and listening to this old guy rant. All righty. What else have we got going here? All kinds of folks talking about Reddit and other items. A lot of you talking to each other, which is absolutely great. I appreciate it. I said, hey, again, Bruce, you mentioned I should look for an ETF. I read, but I did not understand. Could you explain the difference between ETF and index funds? Sometimes they're both. Sometimes you'll have an ETF that it's actually an index fund trading as an ETF. Google that. Google this information and try to find it that way. You're going to need to learn the differences between what a mutual fund is, what an ETF is, what index funds are, and you'll figure out quickly that there's all kinds of levels of this. There are all kinds of categories in this, and some are easily acquired and some can only be acquired through financial institutions. You might not be able to buy a Charles Schwab mutual fund except through Charles Schwab, or you can only buy this fund through this entity. Others you can buy free trading listed ETFs, but only through certain firms. There's homework to be done. It's not easy on purpose. And I try to break it down as best I can and as far as I can for you. But to a certain point, I'll help you. I can help you a certain point, but after that, Now you have to talk to, or you have to go online and see if you can dig up more info, or you walk into a branch of a bank whenever you can. I mean, right now it's a COVID virus. You know, we have a virus, obviously. We have a pandemic. But one day in the future, you'll be able to walk into a bank and talk to an investment person at their counter. They will give you information, literature about what they have and what you can invest in through them. And it might be what you're after. It might not. This is kind of the thing. As a premium member, am I entitled to assign you homework? If you're a premium member of YouTube, God bless you. If you're a sponsor member of Traveling with Bruce, that's another level of privilege that I reserve for sponsor members. And as a sponsor member of Traveling with Bruce, you can join me twice a week for private live hangouts, Monday nights and Fridays, with a small group of fellow sponsor members, because I don't have thousands of members in my sponsor member group. And that's the best part about it at the moment, because you become a sponsor member of Traveling with Bruce for $10 a month or so. You're able to ask me a lot of questions in the 1 hour we're on the air, because we have a nice tight group of people who hang out with me twice a week. And it's a very enjoyable experience. I enjoy it very much, as do my sponsor members. And so if you're giving me, you're throwing a question at me that I might not be able to answer on that evening show, the next time we get together, I may well have the answer you were looking for that I can then, give you with some reasonable confidence, let's say. I'll do the best I can. By the way, thank you for these thumbs ups. 1,300 thumbs ups for this show right now. There are 1,800 or so of you here. I appreciate this very much. Keep those thumbs ups coming, folks. A lot of you have joined me in the last half an hour or so, turning over all the time. Please give this show thumbs ups. Let's give this channel as much momentum as we can, as we are growing this channel in its early days. This is a very new channel, and I am up against some monsters for your attention and for YouTubers' attention. Just so you know, right now we have 49,911 subscribers for Stock Markets with Bruce. We're 89 away from reaching 50,000 subscribers. It doesn't mean anything with YouTube. Nothing happens at 50,000 subscribers. It just looks good. So it's all superficial for yours truly. But thank you for becoming sponsor members of this channel. It's a vote of confidence, and I appreciate it. Once this channel hits 100,000 subscribers, YouTube sends me a plaque. And oh, would I love to get one of those. Oh gosh, but I'm not getting excited until we hit 85, 90,000 subs. I'll get excited there. But right now at 49.9, whatever, I am just so appreciative of those of you who are following me and enjoying my company and listening to me just yap on. Thank you, and welcome to the channel. And I hope I give you enjoyment that you enjoy, and that the information that you find useful and that you can understand in plain English. My name is Alec. Smash the like button for Bruce. Thank you for that donation. I appreciate it very much, as I do all of your donations. Very, very good. Sin, I have to head to work now. When I get home and watch the recording of the market closing, I hope to hear you've hit 50,000 subs. Well, let's hope so. We'll see. When it happens, it happens. You never know with something like that. We'll just hope for the best. But thank you for that, and have a good day at work. Go get them, and prove to your boss how smart they were hiring you, and prove to your supervisors that you deserve more. There you go. There you go. Little Egg. My name is Little Egg, says this one. Thank you, Little Egg. I'm doing the best I can reading these names. Easier said than done. Stefan, I'm a newbie, and I always feel like I get the news quite late. I'm only knowledgeable about the sectors that I work on. How to understand other available sectors? Yes, I agree. I'm a generalist. I try to cover, and watch most of what's happening out there. Try to follow it. I'm watching, when I'm not on the air here, I'm watching CNBC or what else is going on out there. I'm on the internet, and I try to learn a little about everything, but I cannot be, the specific person for a specific stock into the millionth degree. I do follow certain stocks closely, as you have figured out. And that will change. That list will keep adjusting and evolving as we keep going together here on this channel. And right now, we're getting a couple of shares moving up that I've been following lately. For example, Virgin Group, VGAC, Virgin Group Acquisition Corp, up 36 cents to 14.65, still in a buy zone. Gore's Holdings down 28 cents, but down to 17.05. It hasn't backed off. I'm kind of hoping it'll go under that 16 level into the 15 range. That would be a great buy there. GameStop down $1.10 at $50.10. It's just hanging around. It is not doing much of anything today. A volume of 5.5 million shares. We are talking dead quiet on GameStop today, but that's telling me a good thing. This is a good thing that the stock sitting flat is not creating panic selling because people are going, oh God, it's over. Nothing to get excited about. I'm getting out. Oh no, everybody that wanted out, almost everybody that was a short-term, short fuse holder of that stock, they got out. They're gone. The shareholders now of GameStop are the long-term watchers of the corporate story. They're going to be here for a while. And that's why 5 million shares only trading, and it's not crashing. It's not crashing. That's a good sign. I'm not saying it won't be attacked by short sellers. It could be, but there seems to be a pretty solid group of investors hanging on, and they're just not coughing up papers. So short sellers who are short, you better beware that if you're going to try to cover a short position of 500,000 shares or 1 million shares or whatever you're short, you want to buy 1 million GameStop right now to cover your short sale, you might run this to $65 a share because there's lack of paper. There's definitely a lack of paper. AMC, unfortunately, down 16 cents. Not terribly bad, but it's down 16 cents to 564, it's 563. Bed Bath & Beyond up 23 cents today at 29.25. That stock had bottomed out at 28.17 this morning. Has been as high as $30.95. It looks like Bed Bath & Beyond has kind of bottomed out here a little bit and might take another better level. The shares were in the 18, 17 range, 19 range in December. They took a shot up to the much higher level than they should have, 50-something bucks for a little while, $45, $50 range, came crashing down to about 20, low 20s, and here we are now. Now kind of getting back from the mid 20s now back to this 30 range, as it is finding its home. It's only 2.6 million traded. Bed Bath & Beyond. So I mean, technically, it is solidifying. It's not going back to where it came from, like GameStop, not going back from where it came from. And this is befuddling some of these analysts out there who are going, why aren't these shares just crashing out, burning, and leaving people destitute? Why is this not happening? But I really think that these companies are shifting their corporations into a digital format, and they're adjusting to the new normal. This normal we're in right now is going to be around a while, and they're becoming part of the new normal. And their customers love their brands. They love these brands. GameStop has its fans. Bed Bath & Beyond has their fans, and others, and they're not abandoning the companies. The customers did not abandon them. They're now adjusting to the new normal with how to engage with them and other brands. That's what I see going on. BlackBerry down 40 cents a share. The Dow up a point now, going nowhere, up 2-3 points. The high of the day was 31,466. We're not going anywhere on the Dow today. There's really not a lot happening on the Dow Jones Industrials. So we are we really have a flat day here. That's what it is. But they are flat at a very high level. That's back. I think we're backfilling. We're filling in. We're just solidifying the position here. People are getting used to these new levels for the market. That's what I guess is happening. So some days are exciting and wild and wacky. Other days the grind is on, and you have to just reaffirm what you're about and where you're headed and what your plan is, and it gives you time to catch your breath and to do some investigating as to where you're hitting. That's what it's all about. QQQ, you know that I love you. Yeah, the QQQs, you can buy those. Those reflect, I believe, the NASDAQ indexes. You can buy S&P entities out there, all kinds of stuff to follow the indices if you want to follow the indexes. Definitely ways to play that. Here we go, right here. Sir, you're a rock star. How fun and zany you are. Here we go. Haley, I got QQQ a couple years ago, and I think the gains have been great. Let's go with any other comments. What else we got? Are you going to plan to get into stock trading? No. I'm not going to be doing that. I subbed. May Z 9 door subbed. Really liking your channel, Bruce. Bringing new to the market. You help me understand a lot. Thank you guys for that. Some days I can give you. Yeah, there you go. Some days I can give you information on a specific stock. Other days I can give you information on the market in general. Other days I'll just give you comments on stories that are affecting the markets. Look, I appreciate you folks hanging out with me, following it all. I appreciate it. DJ Mike, I just subbed. I'm just a guy looking to break into some stocks. You're the only one talking about this. There you go. I'm not surprised to hear that. There's so many YouTubers out there who are they want to show you how they trade. They want to show you like they're being paid by brokerage companies to get you to become a client. So they're showing you how to trade on this server or on this site. And then they say, if you click my link down below, you can become a member of, or open your own account with these guys, and you'll get free stock if you open an account, or you'll get a credit, or you'll get something for that. I'm not into that. I'm not sponsored by anybody here. I haven't had anyone, come to me, saying we'll pay you $5,000 a month and we'll pay you $20 for every account you can open for us, and we'll pay you. No one does that here. I'm only paid by you, the viewer, through donations, through watching my ads, or the prime time that I'm getting from you. That's how I'm remunerated. And so I'm free to talk about all the trading platforms any way I want, whether I like them or not. And I am not beholden to anyone where I have to bite my tongue and say, oh, I can't talk about that because my sponsor will be mad at me. It's just not happening, all right? Wild Pine Games. Bruce, I moved to Ontario, to Vancouver 2 years ago, and then back to Ontario again a year later. I drove over the Salmo Creston Pass in early spring, both times, and there were avalanche warnings. Yes, there's a pass just west of us. If you want to head for Vancouver or other parts of Western British Columbia, there's a pass, the Salmo, that's about 5,500 feet up, 5,800 feet. It's up there. And we always get warnings that in the springtime, if you're going through there might be 2-hour delays because we're going to shut it down, do some dynamiting. We're going to blow some of these snow slides down on purpose, causing 20 feet of snow to come across the highway and go right down the other side, down the cliff's face. And then we've got the bulldozers to get it all out of there with our dump trucks. And it's going to take us 2 to 3 hours to do that. But when that's done, you're good to go for another day or two, and then we're going to do it all over again. This is part of the snow clearing stuff that's done around here during the winter months and spring months, because they get a lot of snow at the top of the mountain there that we don't get down here. We're only at 1,800 feet elevation down here, and so it's much milder, and we don't have to do that. 5 million volume is nothing on GameStop. That's right. Reezy, when you buy in at $330, you stay in. There you go. Oh man, John, I hope my wheat stonks go up in smoke. Laugh out loud. Let's go. Can't stop, won't stop with GameStop. Let's see here. GameStop holders should go to Reddit, search game, not Wall Street Bets, and look at the DVF image breakdown. There's some really good articles on GameStop at Reddit and on Wall Street Bets. I find it all the time, and there's some really interesting stuff there. Glitch, I have 15 shares of GameStop at 55. I'm looking for the long term. I feel bad for people who bought above 100. Again, if you bought at 330 and you can buy some down here at 49.27, you'll bring your cost average down. You might have a month or two at these levels. You might not, but if you can over the next month or two slowly acquire some more GameStop to bring your average down, then you're setting yourself up for a smart longer term play. But again, the day-to-day trading of the stock, I can't control it. Can't predict it, can't guarantee it, but I like the long-term game plan for this company. I like the way they're going. Connor's asking me questions about these ARK ETFs and stuff. I can't help you there. I'm not familiar with this stuff, and I don't have time during the live show to look this stuff up. It's just not my bailiwick. So I don't know what the difference is and where it's at. I really don't know. Harlem, I got orders every 50 cents under $50 for GameStop. I'm going to buy at $49.50. I'm going to buy at $49. I'm buying at $48.50. I'm buying at $48. I'm just going to buy it all the way down to $25. I'm just going to keep buying it. I'm not going to be afraid to buy the stock. I'm just going to keep picking it up, and that's what I'm going to do. And that's the plan. Interesting. That's more power to you. You're a long-termer. I say, way to go. It's a strategy that can work long-term if you just keep acquiring it. Sooner or later, it goes up on you, and it's higher than whatever you paid for it, and you're in the money. There you go. Let's see here. More comments. Will AMC ever go up again? It could. We'll see what's going on here. Hi, Bruce. How do you feel about buying at all-time highs in general? Oh, man. Bruce says buy and hold GameStop. There may be some crayons in these egg and bagel sandwiches. This is not financial advice. Again, it's just my opinion. I'm just saying. I like the long-term deal. Legit, Robinhood and Citadel should be in a coffin together 7 feet below. Market Watch reports the short interest for GameStop around 41%, and FINRA says about 78%. Either way, it's a huge short. I don't think there's a realistic way they could ever cover 226% over 2 weeks. There you go. Adam, great opportunity for people to buy Alpha before merger with Tilray. On the dip today will be one of the top 3 cannabis companies traded. Thanks, Bruce. Hey, they're going to be together as one. You got to ask yourself, what's their potential? If you're a long-termer and you can get it at a cheap price, more power to you. But I don't know. This is one of those things where you have to, determine how long can you hang in. Tristan, I missed this comment. GHVI and VGAC are the 2 things keeping my portfolio green right now, and I would never know about them without you. You rock. Thank you for that. Let's hope they stay that way and they go much, much higher because I like the story and I like the merger idea, and I'm optimistic that if you're in there, I think you'll do all right. I certainly know you're not paying at the all-time high. You're not buying these at all-time high prices. So I like your chances for a gain there, and fantastic. Otherwise, Gore's Holdings is at 17.07. It's down 26 cents today. Virgin VGAC is up 26 cents to 14.55. GameStop down $1.91 to 49.29. AMC down 24 cents to 5.56. Bed Bath & Beyond up 2 cents to 29.04. BlackBerry down 46 cents to 12.64. And the Dow down 14 points. Just a slight dip on the day. Nothing to worry about there. The NASDAQ up 3. NASDAQ is up 60. S&P up 3. There you go. Now the headline is coming through. Pot stocks getting crushed. What you need to know. Funny how this morning pot stocks were the ones. They were the hot stocks today. That's where you're going to make your money, on the pot stocks. Now this afternoon, they're not doing so well. Isn't that interesting? Alpha, I'm showing it at down $6.24 to $20. Tilray down $22 a share to $41. Wasn't that 70 this morning? Sundial $2.90, down a nickel on the day, $2.82 now. Lows of the day, almost lows of the day, $2.50 actually the lows of the day. They were flying this morning at over $4 a share. Funny how it turns, isn't it? They had no corporate reason to really take off. They really didn't, but they did, and the turnaround has been swift and severe. What can I say? The GameStop 49.11 down 209 a share on only 5.7 million volume today. So they're actually outperforming the pot stocks now, whereas it was the other way around this morning. The pot stocks were flying, and it was all great. It was all peaches and cream, sing kumbaya by the campfire. It's all going to be good. And all of a sudden, it's not so good. Amazing. The sun is coming in on me. You're noticing the top of my head here, and the sun is rising. I got 11 minutes to go, and then my day is done for the morning, and I'll be back this afternoon for my second show. But folks, we just got to be patient and resolve. You have to have resolve. You have to have resolve to do this. And are you made for this market or not? You're going to find out as each hour goes by, and see what's happening. Sometimes the best way to play the stock market is look away for a while and then come back a little later on to see how it's doing now. That's the market. For some, they can handle the second to second. Others can only handle when it's hot and delicious. They can't handle it when it's cool. We're up 1,400 thumbs ups today. Thank you for those. Keep them coming if you can. Thank you for following both these channels of mine. Traveling with Bruce, it's doing beautifully this morning. 900 views an hour. Quite good training. I did a video last night about Carnival raising $3.5 million. That video is getting a little bit of traction. You can always check it out on my Traveling with Bruce channel. And again, subscribers to Stock Markets with Bruce, 911, 49,911, 49,932. So 68 subscribers away from reaching 50,000 subscribers on this channel. That's fantastic, everybody. Love it, you guys. If you're coming on board and becoming a subscriber, thank you for doing that. That is beautiful. Showing YouTube there's a new member of the 50,000 club just around the corner, and hopefully we can keep going from there. We'll reach that 100,000 level down the road. That would be beautiful. I can't click the thumbs ups anymore. What do? You can only click it once, only one time. That's the way it goes. Everybody gets one thumb, one click, and we appreciate those. I do appreciate those thumbs ups. Okay. What else is going on? Juan, you're subscribed. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. What's going on with naked stock? Nothing good. I'm hearing way too many pieces of paper out there. Not much of a short position. I wouldn't be into that. In your years of work, is there any particular trade that sticks out for you for good or bad reasons? I have all kinds of stock stories over my history of being a broker. I'll tell you one story that goes back to when I first became a broker. This would be probably 1979. This could be like only a few months into being a broker, being a licensed broker. I had a client of mine who I had found who owned a shop in a place called Banff, Alberta. I don't know if you know where Banff is. It's just west of Calgary in the Banff Provincial National Park, beautiful area. And this gentleman, he and I just seemed to hit it off. I think because of my father's retail background, having a music store, and me being the kid sweeping the floors and learning how the store worked, and working in that store until I was 21, 22. Having that retail experience really, I think it endeared me to him because I could relate to his retail situation as a retailer, even though he was in this small town in the provincial park. Good guy. When I knew him, when he was a client of mine, and he only gave me a fraction of his money. I will tell you, this gentleman was very well-to-do, and I think he let me play with about 10 grand of his mad money. I think he called it his mad money, but I think he had hundreds of thousands of dollars in the market through several brokers. He knew more than I knew, and I knew it, but he liked my knowledge of what I was following and as a new broker. So we would hit it off. And I had visited him in his store in person. I drove 90 minutes one day, and I went to Banff. I had several clients in Banff, and he was one of them. And we got to meet each other and talk a little bit. And then whenever we had phone calls after that, it was always a warm and cordial thing. And he would take 20 minutes of his day and go to back of his store, leave the kids running the store. His employees were university students working part-time for him, selling T-shirts and keychains, to the tourists. And he'd be in the back, and we would just shoot the breeze for a while. Anyway, he said to me, "I'm going to send you something in the mail, and I want you to give me your honest opinion on it. What do you think? Because I had one of my brokers send me this, and I'm kind of curious what you think about it." I said, "Oh, okay." So a couple days later in the office, a big brown envelope lands on my desk from the receptionist. She said, "This is for you." I open it up, and it's from this gentleman in Banff. And inside is a little letter saying, "Always good to talk to you. Check this out. Let me know what you think. I'd really like to get your opinion on it. Should I buy this?" It was a prospectus. And he said, I would like this back. When the next time you're in town, drop this off or just mail it back to me after you read it, because I'd like this prospectus back. I wish I had it right now. I wish I had this prospectus in my possession. I would have it framed on the wall in a frame right now. I'd be protecting this thing. What was the prospectus? The public offering of Apple stock. Apple Computers was going public, and he sent me the prospectus of Apple in 1979, 80. He sent me this prospectus, and I read through it. I'd heard of Apple. I'd kind of heard of this company, these personal computers you have at home. And IBM was in the computer business, and all these other companies, the Compaq computers and the Emerson computer companies and all these new fandangled computer companies. Apple Computer was going public, and what stood out to me was the front page of the prospectus. The logo for Apple was in color. Normally, prospectuses are black and white legal documents that just put you to sleep unless you're really into it. Here I'm holding, at that time, I had no idea, but I'm holding a document that today, if you have an original copy of an original printing of an Apple prospectus, that's a collector item. That is a huge collector's item. And I sent it back to him. And I talked to him about it. And I looked into it, and they were going public at, I think at that time, $24 a share, something like that. It was a proposed price. And I've always remembered that. And I remember talking to him about, well, I'm reading up the company's guys, the guys who run the company. They're young. So this is the up and coming generation. This guy named Steve Jobs, and there's Wozniak and a few other names in there. They've already raised cash. They've already raised a lot of money to go public and to be what they are. And they've taken their company quite a ways down the road already to success. So I said to him, well, are you able to get many shares? And he said, well, I've got to call into the broker. I was thinking of buying a couple of these. And I said, well, I would definitely take a shot at that. And he respected that I, as a broker at a competing house, would tell him to buy shares with another broker who I don't know the guy, rather than send me extra money to buy whatever I'm recommending to him, because we were not involved in the Apple underwriting. The firm I was with was not involved with this underwriting at all, would never have been, because we were specializing in much smaller offerings, which much smaller resource-based companies. But I got into Wall Street. I got into the market the way I got in through the firm I joined. But anyway, I don't know if he ever bought it. I don't know how long he kept it for. I don't know how long he did. But I do know that the last time I talked to him would have been a few years later. I had moved to a firm where I was now a partner in the firm. And I think we parted company when he reached about 60, 65 years of age, probably sold his store, cashed in, and moved to wherever he moved to retire. And I don't know his name anymore. I don't know where he is. I don't know if he passed away. I would imagine by now he's passed away. He'd be 105 now. but he was a delightful person to talk to and get to know, and we shared some common things between each other, the retail angle in particular. But that is a story that my brush with Apple greatness was that. That was my Apple computer brush with greatness. I never owned the shares myself. I never recommended them to my clients in the aftermarket. I never bought and sold Apple, as a broker going forward. This was all new, cutting edge, and you had to be really, to me, you had to be really into this to understand it. And I was very busy as an oil and gas resource-driven broker in an oil and gas town of Calgary. That was booming when I was in a brokerage community. We had good years and bad years, but all in all, it was an oil and gas city, and we had so much work to do, taking companies public and doing secondary offerings and whatever else. And so I never got into the Apple thing. And of course, Apple did have a good run, but then it had tough days. Later on, it had the bad years, and then Jobs was out, and the company almost went under, and then Jobs came back, and it almost went under, and then he bailed it out at the very end and survived. He had to survive, and it evolved in its own way and was never a shooting star from the moment it went public right to where it is now. They've had tough times in those first 8-10 years, but they're now an overnight success on the market. Sold Tilray yesterday at the peak. Whew, certain big name news stations are saying we're in a market bubble due to all the spending. Thoughts on this? Yes, these analysts out there, these television stations, these market commentators, they're telling you that it's all because of GameStop that this is happening. It's all the GameStop phenomenon. Here's another one. You can blame GameStop for what's happening with the market right now. Suggestions on good books for investing newbies. I don't have any at this point. If I come across any, I will let you know, but I don't have any. But GameStop is now $49 a share, down 220. The Dow is down 6 points. S&P up 5. NASDAQ up 60. And I've got let's see here, Sundial at 244, down 51 cents. Tilray at 38.22, down $25. Althea 1884, down 750. And I've been asked. People have been asking me all week, should I buy? Should I buy? Should I buy? This is great. This is great. And I've been going, I don't know anything about it. I don't know if you should be doing this. It's all based on the hope of the cannabis business being legalized in the United States. And you guys, people who bought these stocks are so ahead of the curve, and now the market is making people pay for their exuberance getting in the first place. Yikes, that's what it is. I've been on the air for 3 hours and 1 minute. I have to get off the air. I got to have some breakfast. I got to stretch. I've got to hydrate. I've got to rest my voice. I've got to do some more research for you. Update you on what's happening. I'll be back on the air today with 1 hour to go before the close. That's 3 o'clock Eastern time. I'll be back on the air for 2 hours until 5 o'clock Eastern. I humbly request, if you can, please join me again later today for 2 additional hours of live following the market. We'll try to figure out what's going on, make heads or tails of what is happening, and we'll see what goes on here. Thank you, all of you, for making donations to this channel. Those of you who've been bringing me thumbs ups, 1,500 now thumbs ups today. Thank you, everybody. If you could throw a thumbs ups before you say goodbye to me, that would be beautiful. I would appreciate that. And we'll see what's going on. The Bumble offering, I don't know what the pre-market looks like. I'll keep an eye on that. By the time I come back today, they might be trading already. And we'll see how that kind of works out. Again, thank you very much for this. And we'll see what we talk about later today. Great comments, great questions, and keep them coming this afternoon. We'll try to address as many as I can. Smash the like button, they say. Thank you guys for all this support and helping to spread the word of my channel through sharing my videos through other platforms. Thank you for that too. Alrighty, how we doing on subs? Let's take one last look. for the sub count of the Stock Markets with Bruce. Last I saw was 932. We're at 49,947. 53 subscribers away from 50,000 subscribers. Maybe in the afternoon show, we might make it. We'll see. Spread the word to your friends. Subscribe to Bruce. Go subscribe to Uncle Bruce. Help him get to 50,000. And maybe we can do that today. Okay, guys, we'll talk to you soon. We'll see you at 3 o'clock Eastern. Have a pleasant rest of the day. If I don't see you anymore today, we'll catch you tomorrow. Thank you for being here, and we'll talk to you later today at 3 p.m. Eastern time. All right, bye for now, guys.